Hello, guys. Thank you for being so patient with us for our 30 minutes to an hour break. It was probably like an hour for you guys, 30 minutes for us, but no matter the wait, we are back with our major league game. We just got finished with our minor league game, and if you weren't here, that was between Invictum versus Yachty Esports, where Invictum took a hammer and absolutely smashed Yad Esports to pieces. They won 7-2 on Oregon, but now that we're in our major league games, we have some news for you, But before we get into those news and before we talk about the maps and what the news entails for those maps and whatnot, I'm Wumby, right? And this is my co-caster Pyro,
Be nice,
and there goes the introductions. But
nice and easy, nice and quick, nice and short. That's what I like.
exactly now, What's really nice though is the map picks and the map ban phase. And Pyro, I want you to walk us through it.
Well, shall I go through the bands first before we actually get onto the picks? Because I think the bands will actually lead it up. So, from the side of Vivid, we have Chalet, Cafe, and Bank. Pretty standard bands there. On Maestria, we have Theme, Club, and Villa. Now, you might notice the two maps that aren't picked are going to be solid. And that is Border and Sky. Now, how many times in T4 1B do you see both Border and Sky come up at the same time?
Never. I think this is the first time I've seen it, not only in like T4, but also in pro leagues. And I've been watching. I haven't been really consistent with how I watch pro league, but
Yeah.
I have been consistent enough to know that I haven't seen Border and Sky picked at the same time. I have seen Sky and I have seen like other maps picked along that, but in pro league they don't have best of twos like we do in the major leagues. But what's also interesting about the ban phase is Vivid's ban of Bank. This is they have so far they've banned Bank in every single play day that they've had. So this is a hundred
Yeah.
percent ban rate for them, and I'm kind of curious on that. I'll put my thoughts aside for now, but the most interesting of them all, and what the viewers are going to be focusing on, is the fact that we have Skyscraper and Border in the same map pool, and both of these maps operate very differently. Sky is a huge map, and it's to the advantage for the defenders, whereas Border is a bit smaller, a lot of tight corners, to the advantage of the attackers. You cannot play that map for 30 seconds without running into somebody. That's how small that map is. And it'll be interesting to see how both of these teams play out, and we see some flexibilities in their map pool, and I love it. You know what I mean? This is why we have the 9 map pool. This is the main reason. It's to offer more
Thank God.
flexibility in your choices. And both of these teams have given us that, and it's an honor to cast this match right now.
I mean, the funny thing is, this will actually be the first time in Talent League Season 7 that theme park, that skyscraper, I should say, would have been played. Theme park hasn't been played either, but that's been banned. But yeah, skyscraper hasn't been played at all. Skyscraper, I think, as you mentioned, very defender sided. I mean, hold Geisha and you basically won. Even if the site's all the way over at house, hold Geisha, you win. I've seen some very good strats from other league this in these sort of seasons in T4 that there are a lot of good strats on Sky. I mean, for one, if you open the back Geisha single wall and have a shield, you can play. You can control so much of the map. I mean, you control Geisha, you control the long corridor where drums is. There's so many possibilities, so many things as color casters we can pick into that we can to go into so many good strats, and especially as it hasn't been played before, especially in this season, you guys won't get bored about what the strats we show, and you wouldn't have heard anything we say. But Border, I definitely agree with you. It is definitely an attacker-sided map. You have long corridors that favor the 1.5 and 2.5 scopes, and obviously the attackers have more long-range scopes. So Border is going to be a very very good map.
Yeah, and it's nice to talk about those maps as well, but what's also nice is the community vote. Your guys' vote matters, and what your decision was for this matchup. It seems that a lot of you guys have been voting in the community votes as of recently, and we appreciate your votes. But for this matchup between Vivid Esports and Maestra Esports, Maestra is the new team. I will talk about both of these teams and their histories, but for your guys' prediction, 55% of you voted Maestra, so there seems to be a lot of Maestria fans who are in the chat or who are maybe watching this game or who just logged onto Twitter and saw that their favorite team was playing and just voted for them. For Vivid Esports, they have a bit of a good amount of fans as well. 33% voted for them, and then 12% of you believe that there is going to be a draw. So
A lot of draw.
a lot staff vote as well, as I will pull that up before we get into our matchup. But also, as we get into the map, the stat vote also entails that 62% of our staff have voted for Maestra, as well as 38% of us voted for Vivid United. So interesting to say the least. A lot of us believe that Maestra have a huge chance at winning this, especially in the staff and as well as in the community. And it'll be interesting to see how they get into this matchup. The first map we are going to get to play and that we are going to get to see is Skyscraper. And right off
Yep.
the bat, the bans are going to be extremely interesting.
Yeah, Thinker. I believe the fact that Thinker Bang comes through is definitely the boost. The LMG. The LMG is such a good opportunity on Skyscraper, and a lot of people take engagements, as you said. So I think I do like the Thinker ban, but I don't know what else you could have banned. I mean, Thatcher is the obvious ban, but what would you have banned, Wumby, instead of
The
that
thing
Thinker?
the thing about Skyscraper is that I haven't seen enough of it to determine what I want to ban. Finka is most definitely a good shout, especially with how powerful she is in this attacking meta. LMGs are huge, but not only that, she has the Adrenal Surges, she has the Gon 6, she has the grenade, she has the whole kit and caboodle. She's extremely powerful. Like people will argue that she's too powerful, and I would agree. Um, I would argue maybe for a Flores ban or even for Habana ban, both of those operators can be really really useful on Skyscraper.
Hmm?
But for the defense, we do have Kaid and Wamai for both teams. It looks like Kaid got banned from Vivid United and Wamai got banned from Maestria. And Wamai
Yeah,
is actually really
well,
good on
mine's a
this
really
map
good
too.
ban. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, because if you have put Wumais in specific spots, you can catch a lot of people out with grenades. As I think grenades are quite used in this map. There's a lot of windows. There's a lot of balconies on Skyscraper. It's mostly played on the outside. You have to use a lot of you have to use a lot of utility to get into the map. So taking Wumai off the board allows that to become a lot easier. We do see a Jackal and two hard breachers, Wumby, on the side of Vivid here.
Defenders, protect your
Yeah.
bombs from being defused by
For Vivid,
attackers.
that's an interesting pick. The Jackal makes a lot of sense. I said it before in the pre-show, but like Skyscraper is a huge map and it's huge. It offers a lot of advantages for the defenders because of how big it is. And the main reason why it offers so much advantages towards the defenders is
Bomb
because it
located by
offers
attackers.
for it encourages like really strong roam games and really strong extensions towards another side of the map. So for example, we're on karaoke tea room. Some defending teams like to have holds. You see the shield
10
on the
seconds
second
left
floor
before
right
insertion.
next to actually cannot remember
5
this call
seconds to
out, so
insertion.
Dragon, I
I'm
think you talk about
Dragon.
where it is there. That's like literally you've got
Attackers are
drums
moving
there,
to defuse the
and you
bomb.
got Dragon, which there was. So I just say like top Dragon or Dragon landing, you
Yeah.
could say.
Yeah, like again, for a karaoke tea room, it offers like you have some teams will like do extension towards the office area, and that's why you see that shield right next to Dragon. And then also some people will like hold the whole room of drums with like one operator. So
Yeah.
Jackal makes a lot of sense here because you want to sniff out those roamers, you want to isolate them, and then you also probably want to eliminate them or move them out of the space that you want to claim. So, not really an interesting pick is an expected pick, especially on a map like Skyscraper.
I think they would rather prefer to kill them in that case. But
Yeah.
it is definitely about, especially in Skyscraper, getting map control, but first of all, getting into the map. That is the key thing, and I hope Vivid take that opportunity to drone out players and push in together, because you need to have two people each. One to push in and get the refrag on each other. You can't give free picks on this map. It's already an advantage towards the defensive side. So we see the first pick here coming out from Mr. Easter onto LZP. That's the Frost off the board, just caught from the back, running away back up towards top house there.
Yeah, good opening for the side of Vivid and a good bit of map control claims as well as that first floor is in possession now of Vivid United. They claim that first floor and now they can move on into the office areas as well. And again, that gives them a good amount of map control to work with, especially with the time that they do have left. Do not be afraid if the time kind of goes down just maybe to about 50 or 30 seconds. It takes a while to break down a map like Skyscraper because again, it allows for like really wide extensions and a lot of roam games, a lot of roam for the defense, and so a lot of teams will struggle with clearing out certain areas. Like for example, drone
Hold
room, you
positions
see
as
the
well.
Ashes getting like into a gunfight with the Malusi, but he gets
Attackers bomb
injured. But
diffuser has been
the
dropped.
next to fall is going to be a Maestria players. It's Trey's going around, but it is Vivid United still on top in terms of man count. Joey moves in into
Attackers
Drum, and
have
again,
recovered
like
their
I said,
diffuser.
do not be
Attackers
afraid
dropped
that
the
this
diffuser.
timer is still going to click down in favor of the defense, as the diffuser actually gets fallen outside of Geisha window. It's another kill for Steely, so Vivid United have them in capitalize on it. It's only Max and Mr. Easter for Vivid United. Max is on flashing red HP, but Steely is as well. So
A
isolating
bomb has
these
been
low HP
located.
players for both of these teams might be a priority, whether or not they know that these players are low HP. So the first kill in
15
that low
seconds to
HP
go.
gunfight goes into Max's
Attackers
favor, and it
recovered the
leaves
bomb
them
diffuser.
in the 1v2 situation.
10 seconds
Again,
to go.
isolating these gunfights is going to be key here for the Malusi, and there you go. He finds one.
5
Max is
seconds
on
left.
very low HP, like
Attackers
I
have
said.
dropped the bomb
Malusi
diffuser.
takes a lot of damage, and there you go. It's another, and it's Itolis to find the 1v2 clutch and the first round on the board on Skyscraper for his team.
It was a beautiful play there from Itoli. He's just managing to identify that he was in a dire situation. There was a 2v1. The Ash came from behind him. He managed to flick around and hear the sound and managed to kill him off. And all he has to do is wait for that one-on-one. He knows he's on low health, and he played that perfectly there. Also, Steely with that 3k. I mean, congrats. That was beautiful. Managing to drop the diffuser. I mean, we were saying in between the round, weren't we, would be, that you could take your time in this map, but you can't lose your diffuser on Geisha balcony. Because then if you got control into drums, if you then have to get control into Geisha, which you haven't focused any of your time on.
Attackers need to locate and
And I think
defuse
that's
as many
where
bombs as they
Vivid
can.
lost that round there. Was that diffuser drop outside of Geisha.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, when the diffuser was dropped outside of Geisha, Vivid did pick it back up, but they had to readjust what they wanted to do originally. And they had to readjust their positions in order to pick the diffuser back up, which isn't what you want to do normally on your attacks. Again, they had the man advantage for most of that round. They were in a 4v2, and they just completely lost the plot once the diffuser was down outside. Because you saw another, that's how Steely got his second kill. Another player rotated onto Geisha window and then died as well. Steely was going on an absolute rampage in that whole round. It was just anybody who wanted to try and get into Geisha, he was killing them. And it was up until Max took the initiative to push him when wasn't really expecting it. He was, but he wasn't at the same time. And he was on such low HP, he wasn't gonna beat the R4C in a gunfight with the SMG, which is what I think he had in hand. And that's exactly why he died. That's, you know, that trade eventually did come in, but at what cost? Two of your players died, and then Diffuser's still outside of Geisha window. They did finally pick it up, but again, it took
Like,
them
no
so
time.
long, and they had to rotate and like waste so much of their own time trying to get Diffuser back up, and they kept pushing into angles that Maestria were still holding, and it was only two of them alive. So there's no real excuse there. But look at Mass's position at the front door as we head into this next round. The next site is going to be on this kitchen site. You see the bandit tricking come out because Kaid is banned, so bandit is going to be up for grabs, and he does a good job at bandit tricking as well.
I'm guessing that's why they bought the double hard breach there, but I wouldn't have bought a Hibana at this point. It's way too hard, especially when you have a bandit to get the wall off. But E-Toils gets a kill onto Joey, but dies in the process with a Claymore. Believe that was a run out, which he managed to get the kill before he eventually died to that Claymore. So a 1-for-1 trade-off there. That's 0. That's a lot of intel gone, and that is also, I think it was breach charges, 3 breach charges already gone. So that's a lot of intel and a lot of utility off the board. Master's taking a lot of damage from just running back towards site here. So already Maestria are definitely down a lot of HP here for not a lot of gain. LZP is on the massive flank here. He does see the play of the ace. The Ash, a beautiful headshot there onto Matt, and he's just going to rotate down here. Two of them on bottom house here. Vivid are just trying to get into Geisha, and I believe that is the only way that they need to push together here, don't they?
Yeah, two of these players are set up on the Geisha window. They can't keep holding the angles forever. Eventually, one of them is going to have to push in. But for Maestria, they're in a good spot in terms of the man count and also the positions that they do hold, because Vivid United have yet to make their mark inside of this map. They don't have any type of map control, and it's made even worse because LZP gets a Nitro Soul kill onto Adapts, and that's your Hibana off of the board. There's not reaching to be done apart from the one that was happening on the kitchen wall, and I believe they actually got that wall open. If not, then correct me if wrong. Dallas does find the eventual trade onto the Dairies, but only 20 seconds left to remain for the attackers, as again they don't really
Bomb
have
located
much
by
to work
attackers.
with. These defenders are in
15
such good
seconds
position,
remaining.
but they're getting caught lacking. LZP falls to Mr. Easter. It's
10
another
seconds
one for
remaining.
Mr. Easter, and the only one left alive is Master on the top floor. The
5
plant
seconds
is
to
going
go.
to go down.
Attackers
5 seconds
activating
left as the
diffuser.
dash comes in. He has to make this retake happen. 2 kills to find for him. It's only Dallas and Mr. Easter alive. Mr. Easter is on very low HP, but so is Master, who's also flashing red HP just like the Ayana. He's persisting on this top floor, looking at these vertical angles, but to no avail. It just looks like a hopeless effort. He drops, but falls right into the line of sight of Dallas, right into his waiting arms, and it is a attacking round for Vivid to claim. 2 rounds have been played, and it's a 1-for-1 tie at the moment.
It was a 4 versus 2 clutch on the side of Vivid there. They were out of position and they managed to bring it back there. I remember you saying that the defensive Maestria Esports were in such good positions as defenders. But even if you're in the best positioning and you have the man advantage, if you don't hit your shots, you're not gonna win the round.
They got
What's
overzealous.
Yeah,
That's what happened.
definitely. I think they with 20 seconds left on the round, with the pressure of Vivid having to get diffuser down, I think yeah they let their guards down,
Attackers need to
and look
locate
what
and
happens.
defuse
They pay
bombs.
for it with the round.
Yeah, that wasn't in the. I mean, it's what happened in the very first round with my intro. They were in a
Located by
4v2
attackers.
situation with Vivid in the 4v2, and they clutched it out as well. And Vivid, it's only fitting that they get a 4v2 clutch of their own. But the next site that we head into is a site that I don't see a lot in comp play, and it is going to be the bedroom site, which is on the very first floor near that front entrance. And I expect to see from Maestria Esports a top floor extension, which is exactly
10
what we're
seconds
seeing here.
remaining.
The way that they're setting this up, again, a lot of the focus seems
5
to be
seconds to
more
go.
on the top floor than it is on the site. And I mean, look at the destructibility of these
Attackers
floors.
objective
You
is
can
to
destroy
defuse the
these
bomb.
floors. You can like
Bomb
flip
located by
through the
attackers.
vertical angles from below, which is exactly what they're doing. And you can, again, you can look at these vertical angles from above and oversee the site from them as well. So this is a nice little extension. The first kill, it's a nice little run out from Anatoly's cheeky bit of play there, and he gets Dallas to start this round off. That's your Maverick off of the board, and it's not really like his utility would be very, very useful on his top 4 push, but it's mainly losing those grenades. As Maestria find a second, so this is a good start for them.
Remember what happened last round though. Don't get too cocky. But especially on the defensive side, this is a very, very, very good start here. Taking off that Maverick, taking off the grenades. That's 4 grenades already gone from the side of Vivid here. And more importantly, you can't open up that top wall now. As we said, as we saw in the observer view, the amount of destructibility going down from top floor onto the site, that if you are Maestria and you lose top floor control, the round's going to be over. Matt's just going to kill him to Steely, and that is the Nook sneaking and creeping around on the sushi bar and bottom floor site here. I mean, that's a good kill. Steely is definitely popping off at the side of Maestria here, wouldn't
Yeah, most definitely. He got that second opening kill into this round, and he was looking to grab more, but again, just got caught out in his positioning. Again, you see the top 4 hold from Maestra, so even if Vivid make their way onto the site, because the site presence is lagging for Maestra because they're holding onto that top 4 extension, like I said, if they get into the site, these vertical angles might be too much. Oh my god, the Nomad looking the wrong way. He gets caught out. Max finally finds a trade, but again, Maestria have such a good man advantage. What they need to not do here is get overconfident and get overzealous and start peeking every living thing. They have 1:05 to hit. I mean, not 1:05 to hit, but 1:05 left just to hold on to the site, to hold on to the vertical angles that they have above, and just wait for these attackers to push into sight. You saw the nade botched from the Nook, as she does get a kill finally on this top 4 extension that was being built from Maestria. Both of these players seem to give up the top 4 and surrender back onto the site. There's so many trades. Now we end up in the 1v1 as the dust starts to settle, and LZP close up the round, and it is Maestra to get their second round on the board.
I have to say, Matt what a 4K. I thought he was going to get killed by that Nitro. When Maestria, I think it was the mirror who threw the Nitro up towards top floor on house. I thought that was going to kill him, but no, he prone drops on the hatch and gets the kill. Matt's definitely, if Vivid would have won that round, which they nearly did, that would have been all up to Matt. The 4K was just beautiful. Maestria, they did have what it was a 5 versus 3 lead with the 2 early picks. We saw the spawn peak coming out from the Melusi of Etoils onto the Maverick, but
Attackers need to
they
locate and
nearly threw
defuse
that
as
round,
many
didn't they,
bombs as they
Wumby?
can.
It was so
Nearly,
close.
they nearly threw it, and it's like it's a tale of like nearly throwing and then also throwing for both of these teams so far. And for Maestria, they nearly threw that round. I did, you know what? I do want to give them, props because I really like that top floor extension and what the idea was behind it. Again, I said it before in that round, but what they wanted to do with that top floor extension was just make it like so that they don't have site presence. They didn't really a lot of site presence until the castle will get back
10
onto
seconds
site.
to go.
But what they did have was just the top floor presence, and they watched from above
5 seconds to
on the
insertion.
site with those vertical angles from below. The next site that we are gonna head into though
Attackers'
is
objective
going
is
to
to
be
locate a bomb and
Karaoke
defuse it.
T, and they're going to do the same thing that they did last round, which is have this extension towards the east side with again towards the east side where office is, just to slow down the map control that is going to be slowly taken by Vivid. And it worked last time kind of, but they had so many early picks that didn't go their way, Maestria. So it'll be interesting to see how they start off this round.
They definitely need to. If they get the early pick, I think this is just too much of a hard push for Vivid. I mean, T is definitely the main site on Skyscraper, but there is so many ways that you can push this site. If you play in house too much, you can get cut off from angles. I mean, we see here on Terrace, if you get cut off in house and have to rotate back through Terrace, and you have someone on that double window, which we do see there, you are trapped here. We see the amount of droning coming out from Vivid here. He does manage to rotate back up towards into Dragon here, and it's just Etoils all by himself. He knows where the player is with that 4-ping, doesn't manage to get the kill onto there, and that is a double kill coming outside from Vivid. That's Matt and Mr. Easter picking up kills onto the Aruni and the Melusi. So already a poor, similar start to how they had on the first time.
Yeah, Aruni and Malusi aren't the most important operators to get because they already set their utility at the beginning of the round. Those benches have already been placed, and so have the Aruni gates. Max gets I'm not too sure how he got that kill. Still, he should have most definitely reacted sooner, but he didn't react at all. LZP does find the eventual trade just to make it more possible, but there goes Adapts and Geisha, and this is the thing that Vivid did last time. They had a push towards the east side, but they also had players pushing and pushing towards Geisha as well, and that's exactly where the ace was pushing on the very first round, and it works in his favor. Mr. Easter does close out the round, but again, it's a good attacking round, and I like the way they attacked it. But this is the thing, this is what Vivid changed up. They did the same exact tack that they did last round, but
Yep.
I want to call her Melusi. The Nook was most definitely the wild card. Her entrance onto the first floor, especially towards bedroom and then eventually into kitchen, was huge.
I like how Nook is being used from Vivid here. It's being used as a lurker, but he's not playing individually, is he? He's playing with his team, definitely in constant communication. Like, they know where they're going to push. They know where the players from Maestria are, and that Nook is
Attackers need to
finding
locate and
very
defuse as many bombs as they can.
good ways of flanking those players to encroach and crush onto Maestria's hold. And it's working so well, Wumby.
Yeah, like
Bomb located
the
by
thing that I noticed about, again, that was the difference that I noticed from the very first round that we saw Vivid United play. It was on this exact same site, but the wild card was the Nook, and it was mainly her entrance on the first floor that really turned around on its head. And he got how many kills was it? Like 3.
Talking about Matt.
Yeah,
Last
Matt.
round, 2K.
A 2K. So
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like a
5
lot of
seconds left
kills,
before
but
insertion.
they were probably the most
Impactful.
impactful kills of that round. It was huge.
Attackers are moving
It was
to
that,
defuse
and
the
also
bomb.
that kill he got onto bottom floor when he just swung around the corner and just managed to get kills. It's these sort of gunfights that he's winning that is definitely helping out Vivid. think it seems to think that every time Vivid gets an opening kill, they do get a round. Ooh, that is so close. Matt's almost getting another opening kill there. As I think it's the mute there was setting up the site still. That could have been very, very nice kill there, Wumby.
Yeah, the mute does take some chip damage. It's not like he's on flashing red HP, like one hit, like you know, you kiss him and then he dies. He's good, he's fine, he's alright, but he can't be healed or anything because they don't have a Thunderbird or a dog on the board. So he will stay like that until he gets shot up some more or until he eventually does pass away. There goes Dallas to get the first pick into this round though. So while Max didn't get the kill that he probably should have gotten, it is Dallas to open up this round, and it is on to the Bandit. Aries going 0-5, not having the best of games at the moment, but Dallas is on flashing red HP, so I guess he got some use from that gunfight. But again, it's just Vivid United rolling over this Maestria defense. There goes its eventual trade, but at the moment, note here apart from the kills that we are seeing. Vivid United haven't made their way around the site, and from what I'm seeing, there's not a lot of presence on the map. A lot of them are just outside. That's a smart run out from the Malusi, and he gets Mr. Easter as well.
I mean, that's a second kill for E-Turtles there. Daps gets a kill and refrag back onto E-Turtles there. So it isn't a 3 vs 2 situation. Make that 2 vs 2. Master gets a kill onto Joey, and he's still trying to peek out that player on Geisha. There is a player playing on backstairs. This is Matt. Does he know where Master is here? They do. Daps gets a kill onto Master. It's now a 2 vs 1 situation, but LZP is playing close with that SMG. He knows there's a player on backstairs. He's going to push up here. And a beautiful kill from Mats onto LZP, just managing to get the headshot there. He knew he was there. He used the sound of the activation of his gadget there to bait out that mute player and get the beautiful kill and a beautiful ending to that round. And that sees Vivid 3-2 up.
This this Nook, I don't want to call her Nomad or Malusi, but this Nook is getting is being such a huge difference in these rounds for Vivid. Like once they this, I think in that round on Karaoke see when they well no, they did it, they picked it on bedroom, on the bedroom site as well on the first floor. And it almost worked to some extent. The last 2 rounds have gone into Vivid's favor because of how huge this Nook has been. She's, again, like you said, she's on more of a lurk role, and she's there to get a lot of space that the defenders don't even know that the attackers have. And that's what a lurker does. You know, they lurk around, they get into positions that you don't even expect them to be in, and they get kills from it because you're rotating into those areas where you don't know that they're in. It's kind of crazy how big the Nook is. Although Max isn't like getting 3Ks, 4Ks, and acing all that stuff, he's getting like 2Ks each and every round because he's operating on like on playing it like an unexpected style of siege, which is lurking, or people call it ratting or whatever, lurking.
It's a bit like Cav on defense, that sort of play. Just we expect the unexpected here. We do see this this site for bottom floor here for the bathroom and bedroom. And last time it was a beautiful, beautiful round that we saw. It came down to the wire. The Vivid, I think it was Matt's got a 4K, didn't he? It was the first round he got the 4K on the Nook. So we want to see something similar here from Vivid. Ooh, OZP being a bit risky there. I don't think he knew the player was towards that west main side there. But I like the setup that Maestria has got on top floor, using the mirror to hold on to majority of the site.
So hold on to a majority of this top floor as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, top floor.
And this is the thing about Mirror as well. Like everybody knows how Mirror is played, especially if you've been playing the game for so long. She offers that flexibility on defense and she allows you to do so much and lets you get away with so much and all that. The first to fall though is going to be LCP, as Maestria suffer the man early disadvantage of it. An eventual trade could have happened for Steely, but he doesn't get it. Matt's escaping with his life, but Daps does get lit up elsewhere. And at the moment, there goes finally the trade. Steely swinging back towards Matt's, and it is Maestra evening out the man count though. A minute and 30 left to go for the attackers as again they have control of this site, but the amount of vertical angles from above from Maestra might be too much for these attackers to deal with as they're just getting lit up from below. Here comes a couple of kills for Itolis to be exact as he does get Dallas. Another one this time goes into Vivid United's favor, adapts onto Ares as we see the man count even
10
out
seconds to
once
drop the
again. Though
bomb.
the plant is going
Attackers
down,
have recovered
Itolis
the
has a
diffuser.
perfect vertical angle and he gets the planter, and now they have to retake the fuser as well and replant it. And that's exactly what Joey is, but he's gonna pause for a moment. And I don't know if it's due to a call, and it looks like Mr. Ishti is gonna rotate. And yeah, Joey's just gonna wait
He's
for Mr.
terrified
Ishti to
from top floor, isn't he? There's so many vertical angles that Master can play on top floor that you can't really plant anywhere without having that control or without the Iana coming in to support. We do have Steely though, who could come on a flank here. They're finally going to get the plant down, but I don't think the mirror of Master knows where the
Attackers are
plant's going to go
activating the
down.
bomb
Yes,
diffuser.
the Ash
Defenders
will get the
disable the
diffuser down.
diffuser.
Now they're going to go into close plant situation mode here. Go towards the outside, hold angles, and prevent Steely from getting into side here. Yeah, they're going to be in the same position from side entrance. They have yellow pings onto where Steely is, so this should be a free kill from the side of Vivid here. They need to act quick, the defensive side. Joey gets the kill onto Steely. It's all up to Master on the top floor. He drops into the hatch, and Joey's just watching the hatch. I wouldn't say bad situational awareness. He just didn't know that he's sitting in the corner there. Unexpected placement for that Ash to be, and that ends up the round there. And Vivid United take a 4-2 lead here.
or to lead as they switch on to their defense. We've said it in the beginning, but Skyscraper tends to be more skewed towards the defenders. So this is a good half for Vivid to claim, but they could just be really dog water on their defenses and we don't know it. But that's yet to be seen because again, we haven't seen much of Skyscraper. So we don't know how any of these teams are playing it. This is the first time we're seeing it in the major leagues. We saw it like a couple weeks ago in the qualifiers, but again, we don't really know how these players are going to play it. But a good half for Vivid to claim. My only complaints there was in for my Maestria, the nobody was really on the
Defenders,
vertical
protect
angles
your
once
bombs
the
from
plant
being
was going
defused by
down
attackers.
in it, and
Yeah.
that's kind of weird because you have those vertical angles up there for a reason. No Vivid United player was challenging the second floor, and that's like one thing that I had a gripe with the attack when it came to like that top floor hold. Only one player was
Pushed off, didn't
pressuring.
they?
Yeah, only one player was pressuring that top floor extension from my extra on that bedroom defense, and it was Matt's.
Yep. And Matt
So
got took out really early on to the round, didn't he?
yeah, and it's kind of confusing as to why they gave up the vertical
10 seconds
angles.
to
When you
insertion.
know that they're in sight, you have a player who just killed the planter, they're eventually going to
5
retake
seconds
the
to go.
diffuser and then try again for another plant. So again, I felt like they
Attackers are
shouldn't
moving
have
out to
gotten
locate a
off
bomb
of
and
those
defuse it.
vertical angles. That kind of confused me. But now they're on their attacks and they can do some on their attacks, I believe.
I think they'll go for the same sort of idea that Vivid went on to, because obviously Vivid had a lot of success on their attacks. I'm already choking right now, but we'll see how they push it. And I think they're going to go for, yeah, the same sort of attack we would see from the side of Vivid here, which is a horizontal opposite side take. So you take into top house. The only problem with this hold here, with this style of push from the attackers, is the shield you can have on the top of Dragon, and the shield that would be on what was it, top of Drums. So it's literally you're all pushing into two separate doors, aren't you? So it is a hard push to go for if you're Maestro here. Oh, Dallas kill onto E-Toils. Yarn is down, but there is a refrag. Steely getting a kill back onto Dallas there. Already starting off a good start off here for Vivid.
Yeah, good start for Vivid as they do get the first pick, and usually, I mean, it's the mute. The mute's already placed his utility down, so I mean, they only really use a nitro, so which could be huge at the latter stages of this round. Another interesting thing that I actually did not notice until now that I'm looking at the operators is the Ulsa pick that is being brought out. And Ulsa seems to be, whenever I've seen comp matches on Skyscraper, Ulsa is almost always picked because of the shields that she brings. She offers that extra protection once she places those shields down, and also offers a lot of flexibility for the attackers. And it's
Attackers have dropped
interesting
the
to
bomb
see her
diffuser.
played a lot more, not only on Skyscraper, as we see a disgusting shot from Adapts. He's a nasty boy. That's disgusting. But in eventual trade, we do see the man count. So nothing to worry about for my Maestria, but Vivid are still in a good spot when it comes to the amount of map control that they do have, plus the amount of time that they have wasted for this Maestria attack as they try and continue pushing from the east side. A kill almost came onto Steely though as he looks away for just a moment, but he's only lit up to flashing red HP as the smoke grenades also come out. These smoke grenades are going to be huge again for the later stages of this round. Imagine if they had a nitro cell in Dallas in order to stave off this push, maybe from below in T room, but again, he is dead, so they're going to have to depend on the smoke grenades to choke time because they don't have any other operators alive to do that apart from maybe the Legion, who could just throw out his goon mines to slow down the attackers and to prevent them from planting the diffuser, which is not even in possession of Maestria. Actually, it's in Narnia. They don't have the fuser in hand. They're just gonna rush into this naked, and there you go. Steely dies, and so does it Harry's. Nobody had the fuser, and they were still trying to push from the east side.
Where was diffuser even dropped, 1B? I couldn't even
I
see.
think
Was it towards
office.
outside? Office. It was
Probably
literally behind
office.
them. They were in 3 versus 3, 3 versus 2 at that point. But 3 versus 3 before. One of them could have got diffuser. I don't know what their mental was behind that, Maestro. They needed to grab diffuser. The only time you ever go for kills is when you are either up on people, where you're like 1 versus 2 situation. When you're in a 1 versus X situation, I think that's the only time you ever go for kills, when you've got 30 seconds left on the round. Because I don't believe they got diffuser. I mean, I think diffuser was dropped with like 30, 40 seconds left in the round, and they didn't pick it up once, did they?
No. I think that was just like a little small overlook. Usually when you're in the last 10 seconds, you're just trying to get kills, and sometimes you're not even really paying attention to the time. So some teams it doesn't really click that it's 10 seconds left for them until until their teammates who are probably dead are like, hey, look, it's 10 seconds, you gotta make a move. And then, okay, they make a move. And then maybe the fuser's dropped. They don't know that it's dropped, or now they do because now they're pushing and they realize they don't have the fuser. And on top of that, you're pushing into smokes, you're pushing into legions, and it's just a hot mess. They really, yeah, they didn't have nitros at the end of that though, but like.
But you know what I mean?
Like,
They had that
yeah.
wall, the wall that we just saw there. The right side was unreinforced, and I think that's actually worse than having a nitro.
Yeah, they basically, what I'm trying to get at is Maestria, with the amount of utility that Vivid had at their disposal with the legions and the smoke grenades, they had no business winning that round with only 2 players alive, especially with how low Steely was at the like last 10 seconds. And the smoke grenades were being used as well as the legions. So I mean, pick your poison. Ooh, this is actually, you know what, this is interesting. The first time that we do see the office site, and it is going to be from Vivid United, as they're looking to expand the amount of sites that they can pick in. They started off with karaoke, now we're again in office, but no kills to mark off onto the leader. Like Joey could find himself a pick, and there you go. It's a nasty, nasty shot on Steely. That's the buck down, and that removes some of the soft destruction that could be used on this office site. Now for Vivid, not for Vivid United, but now for Maestria Esports, what they do have that is in their favor, they do have that main breach open. And what they can do is, if they get the picks they need, especially on those players that are on the bar site and that are in the office site, especially if they pick off adapts first, they could get a easy smoke plant here, especially with the thermite having 2 of them.
The fact that they got wall open with 2 minutes 20 seconds left in the round, ooh, that could have been very bad there for Master. That was such a close pick off. But as I was saying, the fact that they got this wall open so quick has given Maestria so much flexibility and so much time to figure out where players are. That's a double kill coming out on the side of Maestria to Vivid. Etor is going to kill onto Master. So that is your Mute and your Jaeger gone. And you still have Joey, who's on very, very low health here. So technically it's a 4 versus 2 situation here. So they need to keep up this pressure. They need to push into site and think of how they're going to get this plant down with LZP here.
Yeah, 45 seconds left to go. They just need to be patient. The smoke grenades come out, so it sounds like they're going for a push. We do see kills kind of going, well, one kill go in Maestria's favor, and it is on to Dallas. So now we have a 4v2 situation. The plant hasn't gone down yet. The Nitro Cell comes out. Could this be a triple? No, it's actually been shot out, so nothing goes into his favor, but it does go into Joey as he does find a kill. A player has also been down, but Master finds one. Now we see a 2v1 plant going down as well. Joey swings and he gets smacked by Master.
Joey had to do it all there. He was on the 3K, and that was a 1 versus 2 situation. That round could have gone so much more differently if that Nitro would have hit. Imagine that there was three players from Maestria who were clumped up together on that breach. If that would have gone off, that would have been a 1 versus 2 situation at the end, and that round could have gone definitely into Vivid's favor there, wouldn't be?
Yeah, huge. Whoever shot out that Nitro. So you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Master, because Master had a huge round. I think it was like a 2K or 3K from him. He really pulled him and like I believe it was a Toilis, pulled his team back into that like they lost the buck at first, and like losing your buck, especially on an office attack, isn't good, especially with the amount of soft destructibility potential that you do have on that site. Every single floor on that office exhibition site is soft. So the buck offers that soft destruction ability. He can push players out of that site with the vertical angles that he makes from below, and then also they had the breach open, and they didn't even get the opportunity to make those vertical angles from below because the buck was the first one to die. Again,
5 seconds to go.
just
Small
a
details.
good round.
It's a good round, but it's small details that happen.
Attackers are heading out.
Vivid here they're going to a site we've only seen once this game, which is Barbecue Kitchen. Now this site is you can hold twice, I should say, if I got it wrong. But this site is mainly about holding Geisha and holding the bottom floor. Because if you're in Geisha, you can hold the entirety of Kitchen site. And then all you need to do is hold Barbecue, and you pretty much secure this entire site.
Correct. That is absolutely correct, though. As we see, Maestria respond to the map, and they're looking to get some control towards the second floor, and that's actually what you normally do on this kitchen barbecue site. You want to break down this top 4 defense from the defenders, and then put your pressure onto the actual site itself. You see their focus is actually going towards the Geisha as the exothermic charge goes off and it blows the Geisha wall wide open. So whoever is playing in Geisha is going to be in big trouble, but Vivid United aren't playing like it. The first kill goes into their favor, and look at who they remove. It's Harry's on the Maverick, and that not only removes the breach capabilities that Maverick brings, but also the grenades that he does bring as well. It's 2 kills actually going into Maestria's favor as they need to find a fight back. Matt's position could be huge here as he's not really droned out. Matt is going to push. He can get the easy kill if he just shoot him. Just shoot him. There you go. He's such a troll for that, but he does eventually kill him. I was panicking, not really though. I was being sarcastic.
I thought he was gonna have a little mishap there. You see people tend to do that quite a bit, tend to troll, and you get them off the counter. You might miss your individual shot, and Master may have been able to spray there. I think if he would have lost that gunfight, I think Vivid United would be getting him out of the team straight away. Get out of here, you troll. Talking about this round, it's a 3-3 situation. We've still got quite a lot of good players on the side of the attackers here. From the side of Maestria, we've got the book for soft destruction from above, and they do have Geisha control here.
Yeah, they do have Geisha control with about 40 seconds left to work with. You hear the Buck's utility just being expended, and look at how many shells that he has in his skeleton key. He only has about 2 left, so he's been going to town with that soft destruction, and it goes in his favor because he gets the first pick probably from those vertical angles, though Matt from a nice little shot onto the window, a nice little flick around, but it doesn't matter because look at the situation he's in. 1v2. Can he find one? He's missing his shot. So is Atoli's, and he eventually does find a pistol whip kill onto him. Steely in the 1v1 situation doesn't really have the safeness of planting because he doesn't even have diffuser, so he has to rush Matt, steps into a goo mine, and it is a 6-round claim from Vivid United.
Vivid with the beautiful. Some people might have gone for that kill, might have challenged with that Legion there, but Legion played the smart idea, played for the team, managed to push up backstairs, realizing there's only 7 seconds left in the round, and got the easy win for Vivid there. I mean, Steely was on a 3k that round. He was on an absolute tear, especially with that soft description, getting so many kills. So if there was a bit more time in the round, I would have said that would have been Maestria's round. I think you could agree with me there, Wumby, especially when it was when
it was 1v2.
yeah,
That
when it was a
gunfight with the
1v2.
Tolis between him and Max was most definitely the round decider. I don't think anybody who's just watching this will tell you that, because once the Tolis lost that gunfight, it was over with. I felt like Maestria in that 1v2 situation, they were way too separated from one another. Usually you want to play together. They weren't. It didn't seem like they were playing together.
Yeah.
They isolated that 1v1 gunfight, and Max could have easily gotten a kill if he wanted to onto Steely. But instead, he wanted to play that safe. He wanted to win. He backed off, and the bug just steps into... Yeah, he just stepped into his goo mine, and I mean, that was smart play from Max, but that gunfight with the Tolis...
It could have gone anyway.
It could have gone either way, but it was most definitely a round defining moment. Not because of the result, but because of how that 1v2 was played. It just wasn't good enough for Maestria, and they most definitely could have played that better as a team. They didn't. They played that 1v2 as like 2 individuals in a ring. They were too separated from each other.
2 solo players, you could say. But look where Vivid are for their defensive side here. Back onto that T-room site, the strongest site in Skyscraper here. So you would say Vivid definitely have a chance of sealing it out here with that 7-3 victory. It all depends on how the players can win. How strong is Matt and Joey playing? Because if we look towards Maestria, and something we haven't mentioned yet, Wumby, look at Arrows. He's 0-9 on that Maverick.
I didn't want to say anything.
I know you didn't want to say anything. But he's definitely doing a lot for his teammates in terms of getting walls open. But it's just not happening on the kill department today. Hopefully that can change. This is the point where he can step up for Maestria.
Yeah, these type of games happen, and so like it's like you have to comment on it, right? Because it could be very, like, usually if somebody isn't like fragging out, especially even if they're on a support role, if they're not getting kills and if they're not winning their gunfights, you know what I mean, it could be very, very important to the end round result. And that's exactly what the case is for Harry's. This Maestria could be in a better position if he got like
1 or 2
more
kills,
or if he
like one kill
or
every
2
2
kills,
rounds
like,
or something, like win a couple more gunfights.
Like, we're not asking you to like get a 3 kill or an ace every single round. It's like at least 1 kill, because every time the like first pick happens, it's almost always been a Harry's to die first.
Yeah,
Or if it's not a Harry's to die first, it's somebody else on Maestria to die first, and then he's like the immediate follow-up, and he can't like win his gunfights.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because he has shown he is a very good support player. I think it's just definitely one of those games. But I mean, nothing's happened, and with 1 minute left into the round, it's all going to come down to his last couple 10-15 seconds here. They have got gauge control, and the first kill comes the way of Adapts onto E-Toils. So Maestria audio man down, but no, they get a double kill there. Steedy gets a kill onto Adapts, and Mats is also down. So the key player for Vivid United down. Make that a 2 versus 4 situation, as finally Aries gets his kill on 2. Mr. Easter there, we're talking about it, and look what happens. 30 seconds left into the round. Vivid could end it here if they play well, but Maestria looks to be the dominant force here. First kill, that's a kill for Mr. Joey onto Master there. So as we were saying, the defense still do have a very good chance here, as there is no plank going down, and the Nitrous going out here from Dallas. Doesn't manage to get anyone, but Joey gets a double kill there onto LCP. That's Diffuser being dropped down. It's a 1 versus 2 situation. Steely gets the kill back onto Joey. It's all up to Dallas here, and he's just getting the plant down with 1 second left. 0 seconds. He just has to kill Diffuser, and he does! Dallas gets the kill onto Ares, and that is the game for Vivid United. They go 1-0 up in this best out 2 on Skyscraper. You have to feel sorry for Maestria there.
I don't know what to say about that.
It's
Yeah.
that's the most unfortunate thing. It's a part of Siege. When it happens to you, you don't like to see it happen. When you get implant down, especially when you're 2 versus 1, and you have a player up, it's a very unfortunate thing to happen.
I mean, that's the second 1v2 throw that we've seen from Maestria where it just doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't go their way, and it's for obvious reasons. In the round before that where Steely where it was like Max in a 1v2 and he like ran away very smartly, they weren't playing together. In this round, it was mainly because there just wasn't good
Time
enough
management.
Overwatch for the it wasn't just time management, it was also the fact that the second player who was he alive or was he down? He
He was
was alive.
alive. He was
He was
alive. Full
alive.
health.
The second player wasn't there to Overwatch. The Overwatch wasn't good enough in that
You,
situation.
it's hard at that point because obviously you have 3 angles to watch. You've got the top of bat scares, you've got the single door going into sight, and you've got Geisha. So I don't know how easy it is
Yeah.
to watch it. Maybe he should have prioritized Geisha because that's where the planter was going down, and that's the immediate threat of where someone could peek from and get the kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's understandable. In those situations, especially with how much time you have left, it's hard to kind of like it's hard to kind of like do decent Overwatch, especially if the plant is going down as it was. It was a good bit of intuition from a good 1v2 clutch from him. Even if he didn't find a second player, it was good. It was good enough for Vivid
It
to
was
win that
definitely a
map.
good clutch.
But we are gonna head into a 5-minute break and then we will come back with Borders. So don't go anywhere too soon. We will be right back.
So yeah. Choke. Just choke machine soldiers here. They leave 2 people up top, they push down below. I mean, they're coming to West Main now. You've got Agent here with the shotgun on West Main, and Korgo just gets that kill. He gets a double kill! Oh my god, Korgo's popping off with that triple kill. Could be
If Oxidi would know, then boy oh boy would he be worried.
Well, it's actually going to be Mr. Easter to take out Spooky.
My lord! Thank you, Dallas! Thank you! Boy oh boy!
What?
Boy, Havoc, you will dream bad about this
my
one for
God.
years to come. I am absolutely amazed. Like, great congrats to Mr. East and stuff, but yes.
Matt is going to get very aggressive. Christmas did spot out the player out there, and UTD is able to take down Joe. This could be the perfect time for this one. It's just prepped it just so that when the players melee it, expecting something, they get something completely different. Grenade does come through.
But we'll be able to escape, and if you look up there, here's Coinsold taking out the depth chat. And Dallas will fall finally on from Oxidi, as he already has his third kill up on this round. It's all down to Mr. Easter for gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Who are they?
Not going to be ideal, although it did force back the attack just for a little bit longer. A lovely shot by Doki, though. That's exactly what he wanted. He's going to be able to fall back with the rotation. Going to leave it, going to leave it open. He's not going to playing around the cover to try and hide his fallback. He doesn't get caught off by the attack now. Got to be careful with these long angles. We saw what Visu were able to do with it. Quick trade going through. Doki able to re-pick that kill up for his team. Oh, and as well as finding another one onto Ethan's. That's a lovely triple kill for Doki in this round. So
It's full white flashed him, but the smoke is just denying any sort of push from Packet. He's still in that area, and Doki just finishes up with a 4K from Doki that round.
indicator that someone is doing something cheeky, something funny, but JTT finds the first pick. He gets an injure as well. He'll secure that kill. I believe the Fingertools trying to pick themselves up. It wasn't reinforced, it's actually opened, and he's found himself third. No way! He swung hip fire with the SMG-11 to make it 4, and
Hello, guys. Welcome back to Major League Talent League. I'm 1B, joined by my co-caster here, Pyra. But if you've been here, you would know that we are heading into our second map, which is Border. But before we get into our second map, let me give you a quick overview of the first map. I'll just tell you the scoreline. It was basically a 7-3 win from Vivid. They looked extremely good on Skyscraper. It was a very fun match to watch up, regardless of the scoreline, anyways, because it was our very first Skyscraper. But now we head into Border, which we have seen a bit this season, and we've already talked about how it operates, Pyro, and
Yeah.
at the beginning of the when we talked about the map ban phase and stuff like that. And it'll be interesting to see how they play on this map of Border because of how well both of these teams played on Skyscraper.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of intense clutches. From what I saw last game, there was a lot of 2v4, 2v3, 1vx clutches that we saw from both of the teams. So I think it's going to be very similar to that. But if I had to predict, it's either going to be a very close game or Vivid edge it out, I think. Just on the way that last game went, the way of certain individual performers, like Matt's, definitely is going to go close or towards Vivid's area, I think.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I felt like Matt's had a very impactful game for them. Also, for Maestra, Stilly had most definitely had a really impressive um matchup so far, and then also another player from Vivid that I was like really impressed with. Not only was like Matt's extremely good, but also Mr. Easter and Dallas were probably my two players that I'm going to be watching for Border. But for Maestria, which player are you going to be watching for?
Ooh, E-Toils. E-Toils, I think. Definitely. Big player, got a lot of clutches, a lot of key points and key decisions that went into the game. But both our teams are ready now, so we are going to go into the second game of this major. And more importantly, a chance for Maestria to get a point here.
Yeah, most definitely. This is their introduction into Talent League. Remember,
Yeah.
they are a completely new team. I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but they take the spot of the endangered esports roster.
Yep.
They were in Major League. I think they played one, no, they had to forfeit their game, and then after they forfeited their game, they disbanded and then dropped out of Talent League, and then that's why we have Maestria picked up. But we head into the ban phase of Border, and right off the bat, the ban phase is extremely interesting because the first ban that we see is Maverick.
Not a band that I would pick. Even then, I mean, Osa's coming out.
What?
A very strange so a very strange ban phase that leaves Thatcher on the board, that leaves Flores on the board. I know it's the same sort of people for mostly every map, but Osa, maybe I could see if you open up breaches. Osa would be a problem. Mirror is a pretty much default ban. I think you can agree on that one, B, as well. That
Yeah.
Mirror is pretty much banned every time on border. And I think both the times that we've seen it Talent League, it has been banned as well. And then the last ban, there's no point banning the Cade here, so maybe a Wamai? A
A
Mute?
mute.
Interesting choice with the Mute. I think that's mostly, instead of wall denial, taken out to stop any sort of drone denial. So maybe a Twitch might come into play, or just a lot of droning, which we definitely saw from both of these teams in the previous match.
Yeah, most definitely. I like you said, it's more or less just for the denial of the intel game that the attackers do have. So removing mute off of the board, their intel game, at least for the attackers, is gonna be it's always gonna be good even with the mute in play. The mute just kind of weakens it a hell of a lot. It's just gonna mean that the intel game is still gonna be strong for the attackers. So an interesting pick coming out from my issue is the Tachanka partnered with the Alibi, and their first site is actually going to be Armory Lockers. This is a very popular site, especially in comp play. So, and it's also I think one of the more
Attackers need to
successful
locate
sites,
and
or
defuse
I don't
as
really
many
know.
bombs
I'm
as they
not too
can.
sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. It's definitely the most played especially first sites to go to. If anything on this side, you definitely want to go top floor. Now, there's an interesting strat we see there. You see in the 90 corridor, we see the shield being placed and a rotate being made into CCTV, or I call it security. What are your thoughts on that one, B?
No, I mean that's usually what teams like to do, especially on this 90 hallway. That's near the CCTV wall. They like to have a rotate from where the shield is placed, just right behind it. At least, because if somebody's playing in security, they want a quick way out of there, and that rotate provides just that. They also have line of sights established on the south side wall that is in that L hallway again, or by the main hallway as it is noted on the compass, because they want to be able to have a line of sight towards the main doorway that is in that lounge area that's right next to security.
Yeah, break room. The break room door where teams
Break room.
push into, yeah. So they'll push through that break room door and they'll push through where that castle barricade is on the security single window there. So it's going to be up to Master here to hold by himself into security room. And there is a lot of angles that can be played from security. You've seen them over here, and you can get a long angle onto Easter. The beautiful first kill there from Master onto Mr. Easter. And that's the Yana down, that's grenades down, and that is a lot of utility gone out of the way from the side of Vivid.
Yeah, Master with a nice little, with a good opening pick there onto the Ayana, like you said, removes some utility off of the board, removes the Gon 6 paired with those frag grenades, and that's a nasty one tap from LZP as he picks off Dallas. Joey falls as well, and at the moment, Vivid United on their first attack on border look a bit shaky. They have Adapt to Max left alive. Max is destroying grenades from below, and Adapt is still outside trying to set up his hard breach utility as 2 kills are on the board for Vivid United. So just as they were in the 5v2, they slim it down to a 3v2, now 3v1, as Adapts is the second to last to fall, because eventually Max would be the last to fall if he can't find 3 of these kills on these Maestria players. It is Steely, Tullis, and Ares alive, and at least the player that I'm going to be watching for Maestria is most definitely Ares. And it's mainly just on the kill department. I feel like he did a good job on support, like we said before, but I feel like he could have done, if he got some kills in that game, Maestria could have been able to probably.
The last round, didn't he? He got that 2k, didn't he? So there is some potential.
There is some.
Just how he goes towards this round. But I mean, Mats is definitely a player we were looking forward to. But Etoils immediately shuts down that notion, getting the kill onto Mats, and that is the first round going in favor of Maestria there. And what a round it was, getting the early picks off and being able to take the lead with a 1-0.
Yeah, like you said, the early picks most definitely being the defining factor in that round. Vivid not getting any responses up until probably 10 to 20 seconds later, where we saw that amazing double kill from both Mats and I can't remember who it was. Mats and Adapts in the 2v5 situation where they got a kill each perfectly in sync with one another. Eventually, or not Daps, it was Joey. Joey then fell later on, and then Maps was in the 1v3, and then now we're here with the Maestria winning their first round. It wasn't it wasn't a bad round at all. Vivid just couldn't get inside of the map. And then even if they did, Maestria took care of them really quickly. And again, like you said, early picks going in their favor off of some really nasty shots from both Master and also LZP.
Not that much, I mean the Chanka, that Chanka kill was
LZP, yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you know what's interesting though? If you have a look towards LZP on the pulse, he has got the shotgun as his primary weapon. I mean, they've got so many shotguns from the side of Maestria that what is your choice, Wimby? If you were Pulse right now, would you go the UMP or that shotgun there? The M104, I think it is.
Yeah, the thing, I obviously probably go with the UMP, but a lot of teams, it doesn't really matter if you're in comp or ranked, because I don't like to use rank as an example, but the shotgun is a very popular choice on Pulse in ranked and competitive play on border, and for good reasons. most of the map is very destructible from top to bottom. There's only 2 floors, and most of the map is very destructible. And the post is just he had that shotgun can like blast, especially with the patches that they did with like the soft breach and like with like shotgun, not only shotguns but also I believe like soft breach utility such as breaching charges.
Yeah.
It's that shotgun does a hell of a lot of damage, and it's very nasty in close range engagements.
This player playing a small office though. I think he's gone back out towards metal stairs there, but that could have been a very bad positioning there from the player. I think that was E-Toils. Steely gets a kill onto Mats, and that's already the Think had gone out, so that's no more healing there. Beautiful Nitro coming out of the way from Steely. And it's already a 4 versus 5 situation with 2 minutes left into the round. And Vivid United are already off to another bad start to the round here, Wumbi.
Yeah, Finka the first to fall. I think we touched on Finka a little bit. Finka is the most OP attacker at the moment. She's the most picked for a reason. She has so much utility on the board. The Gon 6 grenades, and also paired with her adrenaline surges and her LMG. And LMGs are extremely overpowered at the moment. That's a big loss, and it's most definitely going to be felt from Vivid United. Also, Mats was a huge player on Skyscraper, and you know, while he's only 1 and 2 at the moment, he's actually been getting like some good kills. Well, he only got like 1 good kill, but other than that, it's only been 2 rounds. And again, a big player to lose for Vivid United, as they do have the main advantage not going their way. Mr. Easter's just gonna miss some, like, have some near misses. Another Nitro Cell kill on the board for Maestria as LZP grabs Dallas, and that's your Flores off of the board. So no more Rotero drones in hand for the attackers. Here comes the swing though from Mr. Easter as he does find the eventual trade. But there's a player lurking in Armory. Does he know about it? He gets shot at from that same player, almost flicks on him. They're in a really nasty gunfight, and he eventually finds the kill. A 3v2, now 2v2 as Vivid United. They didn't look so hot at the beginning of this round, but they find a fight back. 35 seconds left to go for these attackers as they try and make their way onto site. There is a player hanging out by Customs, and I believe that is LZP on the post, but do they know about it? The post scanners does come out, so he does get some intels on these attackers. If he can see it from that far, and he makes it onto a Harry's, and now it leaves LZP in a 1v2 situation. This is not an optimal gunfight to take with that pistol from range, but he is going to take it anyways. Makes that rotation with the shotgun, goes through it, and he gets shut down by Mr. Easter, and it is an attacking round from Vivid United.
How have Vivid come away with that? That was a 4v2 situation, wasn't it? They went to top floor, they got the double kill on top floor. In an unfavorable gunfight, the Yana still comes out with the victory. Who was on the Yana? Was it
Easter?
Mr. Easter, when it was on the Armory. He managed to get that kill. And Adapt's got the other kill on top floor. That put it down to a 2v2 situation. But what a comeback from Vivid United there to get the victory, to get the win. Now, Maestria, having lost that in Bathroom and after losing in Bathroom Office, they're going to go to Custom Supply. I prefer Workshop over Customs and Supply. Customs Supply is very hard to hold for one reason. The top floor is insecurity, all the vertical insecurity. And if you know security, if you've seen security before, which most people will have, there's so many entrances into security and break that it's very hard to hold vertical presence for this site.
Yeah, it'll be interesting though, because you know what, if I had to pick between the 2 sites as well, I feel like for me Workshop is a comfort pick over Customs, because Customs allows for a lot of dedication and a lot of coordination for it to work. And these comp teams, they have that's why these guys are playing on a team of comp. You know, they scrim every day together. They have that teamwork, that coordination. And so, I mean, it'll be like I said, it'll be interesting to see how they hold on to this, especially with the top four extension that they have towards security as well as armory. And this is just the average setup that you see on a Customs Inspections defense, right? You have your top 4 players in security and break room, obviously, and then you also have the extension towards armory. And the reason why you have that is because you don't want Vivid to have total and complete control of the second floor. That's why you have players extended towards there anyways. And what's a trend as well is that you don't see a lot of on-site presence on Customs. You only see about like maybe 1 to 2 players.
There's only 2 bomb floor. and 3 top floor. That's normally
Yeah.
how you would play it. And I mean, we see the rotations here all the way towards office. So they're playing a very extended hold for this top floor, aren't they? They've got the security to break hold, and they've got the rotate back into office. So I want to see how Vivid United can play this. We do see a player on East. A really good gunfight coming out here soon. Never mind, ETLs gets to kill it onto Mats, and that's the Thinker being fragged out immediately and always gone. I think that's the second round now. He got taken out second last round and first this round. So a devastating loss for the side of Vivid here.
Yeah, devastating loss for the side of Vivid, and that's the second time in a row where Mats has been the first pick in this matchup. And again, you remove so much utility off of the board with the Finka, but also an important operator where you have a bunch of utility that can be important to the end game of the round is the Thatcher. That's their only hard breacher, and they've already lost him in a minute into this round. They haven't even gotten a snip of the map yet. Dallas steps inside of the map for like a second just to get the fuser, but other than that, Vivid United have no map control. They haven't done a lot with what they have, and it's sad because, like, again, you've lost 2 of your more impactful players. They do get that breach open, and you do see the rush coming in side of the site, and that's exactly why the plant is going down. So the Thatcher did do his job, I was mistaken, and that's why you see this rush come in from the attackers. But with the amount of vertical angles that they have from above, Dallas gets felled, and that's your diffuser, that's your planter down. So for Vivid United, they need to retake this diffuser or go and put pressure onto this top floor and get rid of Master, because they are not going to get this plant down if he's still up there. Joey's dead, so now we see Mr. Easter in the 1v2 situation. Or, sorry, 1v2, 1v5
situation, my guy.
Bro, my brain! Oh my
Your
god,
brain is
the
really
1v5 situation, he does find a caster finally, but it's way too late. The fuser is still down in the middle of the site, and Maestria have alls all over it. He's just swinging for desperation. He can't find anything because Maestria aren't giving him any, and it is a round for them.
I don't think there's much to comment about that round. It was just a nice fishing for Maestra. Vivid didn't even get into the building at all. They went for the cheeky little plant there, and it just got denied almost instantly from the vertical angles. We have actually got a message of our production crew here that there was a minor game played today, and it was between Recognized Talent and A10, and that finished with A10 winning 7-4 on Villa. There's just a little announcement there for you guys, and congratulations to A10 Esports for winning their minor game today. But going on to this round, Maestria are going to the top floor again, which is definitely the more comfort pick of this map. It's definitely the site you would want to go for if you're on the defense, especially after the round you just had then. The amount of domination you just displayed against Vivid, which was complete opposite to last game that I had. This is also Maestria's pick as well, so maybe they just don't like Skyscraper.
Yeah, maybe I mean, it's also a new map, and keep in mind that was Vivid map picks as well, so they may have scrimmed on it and they were very, very confident in it. Maybe Maestria didn't expect the Skyscraper pick, seeing as they they didn't ban it, so they probably didn't expect Vivid to pick it even if it was open, right? Because a lot of teams this season haven't picked Skyscraper. That was the first time we saw it. But regardless, that was Vivid map picks, and they probably scrimmed it a whole lot more than Maestria have seen it or scrimmed it, or whatever the case may be. Border is clearly a map that they're comfortable on as well, and Vivid United have one round. That round was completely dominant from Maestria, but Vivid United are still very, very much in this. But momentum has it hasn't shifted at all, but Maestria do have the lead, and they've been having the lead for, well, the first 3 rounds that we've been in this matchup. But again, the main key that I'm going to be looking at here is that the Finka doesn't die first, but also that Mats doesn't die first. He was such an influential figure for, like, the whole of Skyscraper, and for most of this matchup, in the 4 rounds or the 3 rounds that we've played so far that we've been through, he's been the very first pick every single time.
Ooh, how close was that to a kill there? Master's just dipping and weaving around that, and that was I think pixel off getting that headshot. But Master's in a very tough situation here. You've got the player playing behind him, but he does manage to get the kill onto... that's actually Mr. Easter a kill onto Eto's there. So that is the Jaeger out. Cedar gets a kill onto Joey, so it's evened up the man count. And that is the Thinker gone out again, very early into the round. You do see a nice shot coming out of the chat here, so sad we missed that shot. I'm guessing it was from a peak somewhere. That's actually interesting how they've opened up the wall here.
Yeah, it's very interesting how they opened up because they left it open, right? Dallas does find a nice little kill onto Harry. So despite losing the Finker like they have been doing in the last round, despite switching up the roles, they have found the man advantage. Master is there, but he has been lit up as well. He does find that kill onto Dallas, slimming this down to a 3v2. Now 3v1 as Master is finally taken care of, and it leaves a very weak, flashy red HP Tachanka and LZP down on the very first floor. The plant is going to go down in Armory, and at the moment, he has Jamaica launchers. He could probably angle them through the hatch and probably do some damage or deny that plant, but he doesn't. He tries to rotate up main stairs or tries to rotate past main stairs. Whatever he was trying to do, he got shut down by Mr. Easter, and it's a good round for Mr. Easter as well. I think that was a 2K.
Yeah, it was a 2K. He got the first initial pick, didn't he? Onto in the security room. So yeah, a nice 2K coming out of him, and that levels up the scoreboard here to 2-2. So I think, as we said in pre-game, this is going to be a very back and forth, close game, and it's very good to see actually. Vivid aren't just falling quietly into this night and are actually pushing against Maestria here. They are going to go to that Vents Workshop site that we have wanted to see, and I want to see how Maestria play this. They have got the Cade, they have got the Valkyrie, but the three other ops, I'm not too sure if I would have brought. I mean, Oryx is good for flanks. Alibi is something that me and you don't really like too much. It's almost sort of like it's a gun. We mentioned it very much before that this operator is basically just a gun with a shield. There's so many better and more impactful ops that you can use that have a shield if that's what you're bringing in for. And the Vigil, yes, the K18 is a good gun, but it's very much an individual. They basically got two ops that are guns. There's no player model, it's just a gun.
You know what? The analysis from Pyro for both Alibi and Vigil, they both have guns.
They both have guns. That is top-notch color caster here.
But I mean, you're not wrong. Vigil offers a bit more than Alibi, in my honest opinion, especially with his ability to just hide away from drones. And like, you keep in mind, his Vigil scanners can like affect you even if he's like on the bottom floor and you're droning on the top. So he's very good at slowing down the attackers and making them second guess their pushes, because you can't see him on your drones. You don't know exactly where he's at, and he can be very ratty. He can be very lurky, especially if teams play him in a certain way. Like, I think of like if Laxing plays Vigil from Oxygen, he's a very ratty player that a lot of people talk about. He can like pull 2Ks out of his ass just because of the way he plays, and Vigil just plays right into that play style.
It's definitely a bit like the look we saw last game on Skyscraper. It's more sort of that lurk play. First kill coming out from Steely onto Joey there. Unfortunate timing from the sledge. And Joey is 0-5 currently in this game. He was such an impactful player last round. Etoils gets a kill onto Matt. I thought Matt was going to get that kill there onto the player playing in the office. But Etoils is like, no, I'm going to metal, and gets the frag. It's now a 3 versus 5 in favor of Maestria here. And they haven't lost a lot of health here. The only upside for Vivid is they've got armory control. Etoils and the Oryx of Steely can very easily gain back.
You know, I was gonna say something about them losing the sledge, but they also brought the Buck in here as well, so a double soft breacher. So just in case, it wasn't just in case one of them goes down, they wanted to use both of them in tandem, especially on the second floor hold that they're looking to use as we see more kills on the board. But again, Maestria still holding on to their man advantage, and Adapts falls. So like, not Adapts, but Mr. Easter falls. Adapts is still alive, but with the sledge and Buck being picked together, they wanted to play them in tandem with this second floor hold, because I said before that eventually, as kills ring out, Master finds a kill, and there you go. But back to what I was saying about that pick.
Rudely interrupted by the kills.
Rudely interrupted by the kills. You know what? At this point, screw it, right? But anyways, like I said, like the thing about them picking both the sledge and the bug together, especially on that top floor, is not just because maybe one of them dies and so you have a backup in the other. They want to use them in tandem with one another. Armory, despite what I said about Border being a small map, because it is a small map, the rooms aren't that small. Armory lockers is not that small, and the room right next to it in office is not that small as well. And so bringing a double soft breach is very important because you want to use both of them to be able to cover that whole area, to be able to soft to be able to breach as many floors as they
Yeah.
want.
I mean, to expand on what you're saying, it's very there's a lot of verticality to be played on Oregon. It's one of those maps where I'm pretty sure most of the top floor can be in somewhat capacity breached from above. I think the only difference is the back part
Defenders,
of
protect your bombs
office
from
to know
being
where
defused by attackers.
the bathroom is, the bathroom corridor, like the entirety of bathroom can't be breached into, but majority of it is soft destruction,
What the
and
hell?
that what they're rotating into workshop.
No, no, he used the nitro.
Wait, what? Wait, on Valkyrie, they have a nitro on Cade, and they have a shotgun with the castle.
Grrr.
Oh dear. LZP, watching this back, please, please. I know it takes a lot of
10
time to make
seconds left.
rotates with the super shorty, in particular, but
5
that
seconds
nitro,
remaining.
especially for a site like
Attackers'
bathroom
objective is to locate
and
a bomb
office,
and
you
defuse
do
it.
need the nitros. That's pulled my heart down already. I'm
Yeah,
saying
I
it
don't.
right now. When Vivid United have already got the advantage.
Nah, nah.
You don't like that, don't you?
I don't like that. I don't. I mean, they have two more nitros on the board. The Valkyrie can provide that intel for her teammates
A
in
bomb
order
has been
for these
located.
nitro cells to go off the way that their team wants them to. Ideally, just to get kills because that's exactly what the nitro cells are there for. That's why I'm so confused as to why they used it for the rotations when you have the castle with his super shorty able to make
Oh.
rotations just as well. But the first kill goes into my Istra's favor. So despite them doing that with their nitro cell, it doesn't matter
And look
when
who's
you
been
actually
killed.
have guns that shoot.
Look at the op who's been killed, 1B. It's the Buck. So we
Oh
see
my
that
gosh.
double soft breach coming out again. And especially on border, as we were saying before, where there's so much soft destruction, that's an ideal pick for the side of Maestria there.
I'll see it.
Whether they know it or not, again, that's a very good pick because with how
Detected.
well tellers in bathroom
It's
is
not big one.
it's not that big at
Bomb
all.
located
You
by
see
attackers.
how limited they are in their soft destruction because of how much of the tile floor covers it, and you can't like break through the tiles like that. Not on this game at least. And there you go, another kill goes into my Istria's favor. So they're
Attackers'
making
bomb
these
diffuser
holes, but
has
they're
been
not
dropped.
finding any picks through it. It is Mr. Easter to find one. There goes two for a Tolus as he gets a 3K on the round. He's on a
Attackers have
roll,
recovered their
and it
diffuser.
leaves Dallas in the 1v4 situation. So grabbing this top floor control for Vivid United is not helping whatsoever. Despite having the sledge still alive, but only your butt dead, and making the vertical angles that you usually would make when you're taking that top floor control, hasn't worked out for them because they're not shooting back.
It's definitely going to go in the opposite to what we saw last game. I mean, last game Vivid were 4-2 up at the hardpoint, and unless Dallas can get the 1 versus 4 clutch, it's going to go the exact same as last map. He does throw a grenade and do a bit of damage onto Master, but he's got 30 seconds left, and not a single way to push onto the side. There's no walls been opened up that make it easy for him. There's no there is vertical that has been played, but there's not enough of the site that's vertical ability that you can even get a kill. And Master just finishes up Dallas there with the beautiful headshot through a punch hole for all the different things. And that just seals it there for Maestria. And it is a 4-2 as Maestria go on to attack, in which I think we could agree. This is a defensive sided map. So 4-2 is what we would like to see, 1B.
Yeah.
But
Most definitely.
given what happened last game, I do like Maestria's attacks. They did look promising. And
Yeah, I
hopefully,
like.
and
I
Aries is definitely fragging off. Sorry about that.
no, you're fine. I was just gonna say they only won. I believe. No, sorry, it was only one round that they won on their attacks. But I felt like, yeah, they only won one round on their attacks on Skyscraper.
Yeah,
But like, I don't know. I felt like we
1 out of the
couldn't. We
3 rounds
did
they had.
enough of their attacks. Out of like the 4 rounds that they had, they only won one attack. But
It's better than what they did on defense because they won
Attackers need
2
to
out of
locate
6.
and defuse as many
yeah,
bombs
It's
as they
similar, but I think what's different now is if you look at Aries, he's got slightly more kills than he did last time. He's not going 0 and 9, is he? He's going 2 and 3. So there's definitely an advantage here. We do see a Thinker being picked and a Nomad. What are your thoughts on Nomad on this map?
Nomad, it's kind of surprising that instead of the Maverick is a good operator to ban on border, but I
10
would have
seconds
banned the
left before
Nomad
insertion.
over Maverick just because of. I said it before,
5
but border
seconds
is a
left.
very small map. It's not built like
Attackers
Coastline,
are
but it
moving to
operates
defuse
just
the
the
bomb.
same way. You're very limited in your roam game and in your rotations as a defender, and the Nomad only makes that worse. So leaving the Nomad on the board, especially on a small map like border, doesn't make sense to me. She's really strong on this map, again for the reasons that I listed. So I like her as an operator. I really do like her, despite how cheesy she is. But yeah.
Look at this armory strat they have, opening the left side with pronouns. Now, normally you would double reinforce that. Is that the main wall to go into sight? And if you do manage to get rid of that shield and the player playing behind it, that could be free access into sight. So I mean, we'll see how that plays down later on into the round. But saying that, Maestria aren't even going for an armory push. They're going for an office take. The weird thing about this office take, though, is they have no one on ventilation. They're going for a pure office take. I would hope to see anyway, one player from Maestria rotate to vents to cut off any rotations for the fountain door.
Yeah, the first pick goes into Vivid United's favor. That's Mr. Easter grabbing its Hollis, and you know what? Fingers just don't get a break on this map. You know what? I talked about how OP she is as an operator, and she's
This is
been picked
cursed.
off early every single round. She has not had a chance to breathe. She has not had a chance to live her truth. But for Vivid United, it's a good pick to claim. Again, you remove a lot of utility off of that Finka, but there you go. That's a nice little nitro. So from below, you saw the rotations with the outline, and we saw it in 4K, and that Steely off the board as well. Utility being used from Maestria on the office wall on this top floor, but again, they have to keep in mind that a player is still down below, and he's watching this hatch. But do they know this? He did detonate a nitro cell from below, so they should have a clue that he's below
Yeah,
there. Maybe
they will.
Bomb located.
they have to have a clue. If they get killed from him, then I don't know. The game sense is just not there. It's not Max who actually gets that kill. It's Joey followed by Dallas, a Harry's, and the 1v4 situation. Yet now 1v4 was a 1v5 originally. He doesn't know that there's a player behind him, but it's a couple of whiffs from Adapts. He doesn't turn around to Harry's. It doesn't matter because Max rotates up east and he gets that frag, and it is a round for Vivid United. So while we did see a 4-2 split come in from Maestria on a very, well, I wouldn't say a very dominant defense, but a good display on their defense, Vivid United are still very much in this game, and they showed it in that round.
Yeah, it was a very, very good round there from Vivid. A lot of nitros. I think there was 2 nitro kills there coming out. It was a very aggressive play that Mats did on that hatch. I was very worried that if he would have got caught out, I speak England as well. A bit of great English coming out of them there.
What?
Oh dear, the chat. I love chats in Siege. But anyway, so going on to this one. The only bad thing about that round was there was a lot of nitro kills and it
Attackers
just
need to
got
locate and
overly
defuse
aggressive,
as
but
many
it
bombs
worked
as
for
they
Vivid
can.
United. Now, Maestria Esports are going to the bathroom office site. And yes, this is a very good site due to the limited amount of verticality that you can do. and the extension into Workshop that we do see Vivid United doing. Now, 1B, Maestria here. For the attacker side, what do you think they will do? Do you think they'll go into Office? Do you think they'll push through? Or do you think they'll do more of a push into Armory Lockers and try and get access into Workshop?
10 seconds
Because
remaining.
then you have a free rotation into Bathroom.
Can you repeat that
5
one more time?
seconds to
So,
insertion.
do you think Maestria will go for the more default into Office,
Attackers'
into
objective is to
Fountain, do
locate a bomb and
verticality and
defuse
push
it.
down East Stairs? Or will they go into Armory and then take into Workshop where the rotation is into Bathroom?
They have a soft breacher to go for the whole second floor, and to go for the second floor, and they have the operators to do like the first option that you said, which was like
Yeah. More
push
default Office.
yeah, go for a default Office, take maybe from the top floor
Attackers
down.
dropped the
They
bomb
have the
diffuser.
soft breacher to do that. They
Attackers
have
have recovered
the
their
floors
diffuser.
as well. I mean, you don't want to use your soft breach. Ideally, you just want him to clear utility, and he can do that if they do a default take. So they do have the operators to do a default take. Default takes are all about trial and error and like all that crap. It's all about trial and error with default takes. Sometimes
Attackers
they
have
work and
located a
sometimes
bomb.
they don't. And there's a
Attackers
reason why
bomb
they're called
diffuser
default
has been
takes, is
dropped.
because every team does them and every defense knows how to counter it.
That's why I prefer these sort of off strats that we see sometimes. The Workshop pushing, the Passport, which we do see him playing the Passport here, and these long angles almost taking off the head of Ares there. They're playing into Customs, and I actually like those holes there. You do head height holes from Customs into Passport, and it cuts off them playing down east, which is happening now. You see, as the observer is showing us, the rotate on the right side, and with that DMR on the Avuni of Joey, that is such a strong power position. But we do see him in lobby here on bottom of lobby, and they have opened up the right side wall, which had no reinforcement on, which I don't understand. Joey is killed from there. Masters gets a kill onto Matt. Etos gets a grenade kill onto Easter, and all of a sudden it's a 5 versus 2 situation here. 1B.
I don't know what happened to that hold from Vivid. Like you said, I really, really liked the long angle game that they were playing, because that's what they were playing, and it does work out for Joey eventually, but his team are still in a bit of a pit. 4v2 main advantage for Maestria. Look at the amount of map control that they have and the kills they're getting. We do get a pog match.
Activating
Trap
diffuser.
adapts. I mean, not adapt, sorry. LZP. Finally, we see a kill. He gets picked back up, I'm guessing, and
Yeah.
it's a kill for Maestria.
Yeah, he did down the Avuni, but he got picked up, and Joey does get the kill from the long angle. Joey, I'm going to seal that strat. Thank you for the good strat there, Vivid. Although it didn't work for you, I think I think it was Matt, wasn't it, on the Thinker, who got a double kill that round, or got quite an influential, had quite a big influence on that round. That definitely gave Maestria the win. But I do like those long angles, 1B, and I think it's something I might take into my border games.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on it in the pre-show where, like, like I said, border is a very small map. It's very hard to enter into this map without running into somebody within 5 seconds of entering, within 5 or 10 seconds,
Yep.
at best, right? And you also added that, like, border tends to play it like a long-range game as well, especially, like, there was that example from, like, Customs, all the way into that lobby area that's on the east side of the map. So, again, that's the type of game that you usually want to play on
Bomb located by
border,
attackers.
but you also want to play really, really aggressive. Border tends to be a very fast-paced map. It moves very fast. The attackers can get inside of the map within like 10 to 20 seconds. It's not that hard to entry
10 seconds
on border
remaining.
whatsoever.
You
But-
can't guard everywhere as defenders, can you?
You
5
can't.
seconds left before
So,
insertion.
Talking about this round, though, they have gone
Attackers
to
are moving to
Workshop.
defuse a bomb.
Now, Workshop, again, is a very vertical-heavy site. I remember when I was in ranked, some team told me off and called it a copper strap for holding top floor. I was like, oh, what are you on about?
what?
Yeah, for holding top floor, apparently is a copper strat. So apparently what Vivid United are doing here is apparently a copper. You've heard it here before, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, for this site mostly, you do want to hold top floor. There's so many sneaky angles that you can get onto walls. First kill is Joey onto Steely. That is the sledge going out. That's any sort of verticality gone. LZP gets the refrag onto Joey, and that's a Capcan gone. Not a big pick on the side of Maestria. I mean, all of his Capcan tracks would have already been down there. We do see a beautiful kill coming out from Mr. Easter there onto Ares, and that is the Nomad gone. So that's any sort of flank watch gone. You now have to use drones, which Sealy is being designated for. Oh, how has he not got the kill onto Master there? Master using beautiful movement, just managed to get out of the way, surviving on barely any health. But there is a Finker, Wumby.
There's a Finka. The Finka has not died, thank God. Oh, by shotgun. There you go. 4v3 though for Vivid United, and for Master, he could have almost gotten himself. He could have almost made this a 4v2 for his own team. He was trying to shoot at a camera, and he almost got caught out while swinging on that camera. Ooh, but Atolis is going to swing, and he gets caught out instead, and it's a nasty, nasty, nasty hold from Dallas all the way in customs, holding a really not a unique angle. That angle has been here ever since Siege was invented. Everybody knows about that angle in custom. If you don't, then I don't know where you've been for the last 5 years. You've been sleeping under a rock because you haven't been playing Siege. Though Master does find a pick into this round. It is a big flank from Mats, and it's the closer from Easter as Vivid find their 4th round, I believe.
Yeah, it's 5-4 at the minute. It's almost a back and forth game. I loved that long angle. It almost seems like Vivid absolutely love to play into customs. They've used it twice in a row and got some amazing long shot kills from customs. Obviously, as you said about that angle is well known in the Siege community. But it doesn't mean that when you're under pressure, when you're a man down, you will not look for that angle.
Yeah.
And it was a slight variation, wasn't it? Because it wasn't on the far left side that you normally see. He was on the actual scanner itself. So as you can see, he was pre-firing the correct angle, but he just manages to get picked off with the headshot. So many good kills, may I add, coming out of this game. And it's exactly what we were going to look forward to, these close games between Vivid and Maestria. But Vivid have now gone back to the top floor 1B. What strat will we see here?
Just the usual strat. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some type of extension towards that east side of the map, as well as the south side on this top floor towards security and break room, as well as towards that the office area, or whatever you call the area that's like right next to the bomb site that's next to armory lockers.
10 seconds
Just
remaining.
a really strong top floor hold from Vivid. Like, I don't expect anything differently. I expect to see a shield in a hallway. I expect that. And I also expect there to be angles to be made on that break room wall in that L hallway. And, well, okay, they reinforce it. Never mind. Screw me.
No, they've still got that rotation on the right side, though, that we see. But there is no, more importantly, there is no shield that we see. So I don't know how they'll play. Maybe they'll just use it as a rotate to go from security into fountain, but I don't think they've got the rotate there. We see E-Toils already in passport here. It looks like Maestria are going to go for an office take again. You've got E-Toils on the Finker, going to push them east. But you do see, who is that on that default angle?
That is the Valkyrie, actually, and the first kill doesn't go into Valkyrie's favor. It is Joey to find one. He does get immediately traded from Etolis in that entrance towards that first floor. Yeah, towards Passport. Oh my lord, I forgot to call out. But he does find that trade in that position in Passport that he was holding, that you highlighted just a minute ago. And at the moment, neither one of these teams are in an advantageous position. For Maestria, they do have a bit of map control, especially with the Atolis entering inside of the map. But Mr. Easter is holding a really nice angle. Atolis has no clue, and it's a huge kill from the Valkyrie, taking out the Finka, taking off that much utility off of the board, as well as taking away those adrenal surges for the attackers. So even if one of these players are down, they cannot be healed by those adrenal surges or even picked back up from a long distance if Finka were to activate it. Now, a minute and 25 into this round, Maestra are without a Finka. They're without a Nomad. I don't even know if the Nomad set her utility down because she died
No, she got
early
killed
on.
immediately.
She got killed immediately, so they don't have any air jabs to cover their flank. Maestria are just in a really tough spot. Easter finding Master, and again, just this isn't making their lives easier. They're just getting stranded. They're getting pinched. They're getting picked. They're getting assaulted right
Harassed.
now by Vivid. They're getting harassed.
It's actually mad. I mean, Mats is putting up such a good fight from below, and we just saw on the screen there getting shot from multiple directions. And you see Steely is down right now, so it is a 1 versus 4 situation. You've got the Valkyrie on metal stairs. He's given away his position here, LZP. All they have to do is wait for him to push up here. He's got no option. He doesn't know where any of the players are. It's just like Z in the chat at the moment. He just gets shot and swung from the Valkyrie of Mr. Easter, and what a round there. We are going to get a pause right here due to a game freeze, so we could talk about more of that round. And the fact of the matter is, we're seeing such good angles and such good team play coming out of both of these teams in this game.
That attack was just it looked so good at the beginning, especially with Tolly's getting that. Well, yeah, Tolly's getting it's Joey getting the first pick, and then yeah, it was Joey getting the first pick, and then Tolly's got like the follow up. It
Yep.
looked good. It didn't look like good nor bad for neither one of those teams until Atolis decided to make his move from Passport. Didn't notice the angle from Mr. Easter, got shut down as he was making that rotation. Good angle held by the Valkyrie, and then obviously losing your Nomad early on, especially when they haven't placed their air jabs in a position where, like, in positions where the defenders would normally flank from, they were attacking offense, right? You know, they didn't have any
Roam
air
game as
jabs
well.
on east stairs. They didn't have any air jabs in the hallway.
Metal
Like
stairs.
metal stairs. They didn't have no type of air jabs to help them with the flank. So losing that Nomad early on most definitely showed, especially after Etolis died.
Attackers
Because
need
once
to locate
Etolis
and
died,
defuse as many
those
bombs as
roamers
they
on the
can.
first floor, they're free to roam. They're free to rotate up these stairs. They're free to roam up metal stairs because they killed the only player that was blocking them from doing so.
And that's what we saw that round. I mean, we saw the Valkyrie of Mr. Easter flank up main stairs for that last kill, didn't we? And Matt's putting so much pressure onto that bathroom hatch. I want to see something
Attackers have
similar
located a bomb.
from Vivid again, getting that early pick. Ares has to stay out of trouble. I think he has to go to his team here when spawning. Alright, you guys go in first
10
so I
seconds
don't get
to
spawn
insertion.
peeked or picked off very early. I'll maybe go onto the support role
5
and
seconds left.
drone so I can set up these nomad air jabs.
Attackers are
But we
moving
see
to
Vivid,
defuse
yep,
the
go
bomb.
to the bathroom office side, so it's definitely going to be a top floor hold here. But we don't see a type of top floor hold that we expect here. I think they're both going for spawn peaks onto that onto that south side spawn there.
But no kills as of yet inside of this round. So no early mid and finish for Vivid United. As for the push and
bomb
where
has
I
been
think they
located.
might be going to, obviously the focus is going to be on the second floor, especially since they have this sledge in play. What Maestria are doing that is different compared to what Vivid United did on their attacks. They're not bringing the double soft breacher, they're only bringing the sledge. And sometimes there are rounds where Steely does die first and then they don't have a sledge for the rest of the round. They don't have any soft breachers. And sometimes their other operators who you would usually see have breaching charges, they don't have them in their pocket, so then they don't have any shock destruction abilities, and then that kind of leaves them naked on that top floor. So hopefully this isn't the case for Maestria this round, and the sledge ends up being impactful. Though, and
They
it
got
looks
so
like
clear
because
this
of the
time.
droning, yeah, they got so many drones, and by the looks of the droning, it looks like this top floor push is going to be their main focus.
Yeah, this top floor push and definitely this east push. I mean, we do see Vivid United have a strong presence in Workshop. The first kill is going to come out. MB Joey gets a kill onto Steely, and that is the sledge shut down and off the board already. You were talking about it a lot of time. It's always that soft breacher or the Nomad getting picked off first. Two influential players already gone. We see eToils here trying to go for a free frag play, but he takes a lot of damage having that frag out. And we see the long angles again coming into a massive play here into Workshop. They haven't opened it fully yet, but the defense are just able to prevent eToils from even challenging through this window. There's so many angles, one bit.
This is the thing, like I about like bathroom tillers is that this is why you open up like the bathroom, that workshop wall that separates the bathroom hallway and also bathroom itself from workshop. You open that all up, and then you can play like the window that's in tellers from workshop through those angles, and that's exactly what Vivid United are doing. And it's slowing down my Maestria because they don't want to get picked off from those long angles, but also they have to speed it up, and they also have to eventually have to peek into those angles, but they have to be careful about it as well. The kills are starting to ring in as the kill feed turns orange. LZP as well as Ares jumping into the site. The plant is going down, and Teles is going to cover. The swing comes in, the plant is going to go down, and it is completed. Adapts, now Joey die, and it is a Maestria round on the attack. A late push that probably shouldn't have gone in their favor, especially with the amount of angles that Vivid United had.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of angles that Vivid United had, Maestria had no reason winning that round, especially after Vivid United took their sledge off the board immediately.
Were I downed the Nomad play of Ares on the window and then proceeded
Finka.
to get, was it Finka? Thank you for the correction. Finka on that window and then just push straight back off of that angle. I think you need to crouch there, reload, and get back up on that angle, as that angle is such a power position. As you know, 2 people were towards lobby side. And I think that just faltered it completely from there. They had hatch control. It came down to the last 15 seconds, and all Maestria needed to do was win their gunfights, and which, I mean, we could tell from what happened there. As you said, the scoreboard turns orange, and Maestria are now 6-5 up. And Vivid United are under so much pressure here. Just a reminder to our viewers, if Maestria Esports do win here, they will both get 1 point each. But if Vivid United win, then they'll get 3 points. So it's all the pressures on Vivid United here, going towards that workshop site here, and we will see, I think we will see a very more top heavy hold. We do see the hatch open in small office there, and I assume the hatch into
10 seconds left.
towards the, you know, where the late back workshop hatches as well, that to be open.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, this
Unless they reinforce it,
Interesting.
which they are.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
interesting pick though from Joey picking the Capcan. I'm a had brain fart. Picking the Capcan. It's just been a long day. Picking the Capcan, and then Dallas picking the Goyo. And with Goyo, I don't think I've talked about him a lot, especially when I've been casting and I've seen Goyo picks. But his changes, when people talk about his changes and whether you think it's a nerf or a buff, I most definitely think it's a buff. I feel like it's not really a buff, but it's most definitely a change in the right direction, especially with how Goyo has been played whenever he's been picked in comp. You place his little gas canisters down, and you just shoot them, and then they operate as smokes. And not only are they like, they're more mobile now that they're not the shields. As Joey gets the first pick into this round, he could potentially find himself a second. But Master is probably lucky to get away with his life. Joey just got air jabbed too, so he could have died himself. Both of them are lucky to get away with their lives after that.
It's a very, very risky play there from Maestria, but it paid off for the side of Vivid, as they are 5-4 up, and two players from the side of Maestria have took a little bit of damage. Obviously, there is that Finker to Finker boost back and up, to Finker them back up to full health. We do see the Catgun here playing on 90. And I think Master's going to peek him here and try and get the free kill. But does he know there's a player playing in an office in Workshop? I think that is, yeah, the Capcan who's rotated past 90 and into break room there. And I think he's going to try and go for the flank onto East Stairs. It's stalling so much time at this point, 1B, that I don't know if it's going to come down to the last 30, 20 seconds that we saw from last round. I mean, we've got 1 minute 10 left onto this round so far, and there's still been no more kills from in the initial stages.
Yeah, no response here from Maestria, and that's been the story of, well, this round so far. and the no response continues as Easter finds the Totalist, and that again is that's your finger off of the board. Joey gets the kill. Master just rushing in. Vivid, not Vivid, but Maestria looked desperate. That's why Master rushed in into a captain trap. Here comes a jump in, a desperate jump in again. This time from LZP, and it leaves Silly in the 1v5 situation. And there you go, Joey
Flawless.
from above, like he's Jesus or something, is able to just get a kill.
Assassin's Creed with the
Assassin's Creed.
assassination right there. We got to get into some Assassin's Creed here, haven't we? But that is 6-6 at this point, and we're going to go into OT here. All to play for the side of Maestria here.
Yeah. One note that I'm gonna say, and this hasn't been a consistent issue, but I notice it. The Nomad needs to stop dying first. Like, just stop it. Because when the Nomad dies first, you open up the whole round for the defenders. Especially if the defenders knows that you're the first pick.
Exactly. It's just they need to play around it. But Vivid have got attack on defense here, and Maestria have got their defense. So considering the sides that we're on here, how do you think it will go? This OT.
How it would go?
Which way do you think it will lean towards? Who will win?
No idea. This
Defenders
is
protect your bombs
I
from
think
being
this is the
defused by
most
attackers.
confused I've been. And the reason why I say this is because neither one of these teams have looked better. It's not like Skyscraper where Vivid United obviously looked better on their own map pick, and Maestria just they didn't look comfortable on Skyscraper whatsoever. This map it's a lot different. Neither one of these teams looks better than the other, but they don't look like worse than the other neither. They don't look like terrible on
It's
border.
tight. It's very
It's
tight, isn't it? It's back and forth, which we very much like to have when casting a game.
10 seconds
But
left
Maestria
before
here,
insertion.
they have gone to the top floor armory site. I don't think there was any
5
any
seconds
other
remaining.
site they would have gone to. But do you know what interests me on the side of Vivid here? If you
Attackers
take
are
your
moving
love
out to
towards the
locate
left
a bomb and
side,
defuse
you
it.
will see a Monty. Now, do you know what Monty is used for most of the time? Do you know that old trick, that old plant trick of office door, where you rush in towards office door and you plant behind the Monty? Do you think we'll see that? Obviously, we've got the Chank on the board, so that is a huge risk.
Yeah, I don't really know. I feel like we will see that. Monty is like a little figurehead. Basically every defender is going to pay attention to him while his teammates are working around him. Unbeknownst to the defenders and unbeknownst to what the attackers are going to do with their Monty player. See, the first kill does go into Vivid United's favor as LZP is the first to fall, and that's your Tachanka off of the board.
That's coming a lot more likely now, isn't it? That Monta player, now that he forced off that Chanka, you can't deny anything there. Aries getting so close to a headshot there through that wall of that sandwich window here. And Monty's just doing a massive thing here of just being that intel gatherer. Master's going to flank down to Customs here, but I don't know if he knows anyone is in that Customs desk. He is going on drone here. Never mind. It's gonna come down to the very wire. I'm scared. He went on to drone, but he doesn't know actually. No, he gets a kill onto Master. It's now a 5 versus 3 situation here in the favour of Vivid United, and I'm expecting the plant to come early. Actually, the Monsters should go straight in. Dallas gets a kill onto Aries. Make that a 5 versus 1 now as Matt sits down, and Adapts gets a kill onto E-Toils, and that is all over. Easter gets the kill onto Steady, and a wonderful win for the side of Attacker, and definitely not what I would have thought. I was thinking the defense maybe would have taken that round, especially on top floor.
Yeah, the Monty was a good pick in that round for Vivid United. I said it like you said it before. He's like an intel gathering op, but I also said that he's more of a figurehead. You pay attention to him while all the other little guys around him do work, while the other attackers did the work. And when he was there and when he was at the doorway, Vivid United, not Vivid United, my Maestria were paying attention to him for the remainder of when he was trying to enter into armory lockers. And then you saw him entry into the site because some kills happened elsewhere. We saw the failed flank for Master. It all just fell apart. It wasn't like the map the it wasn't like the Monty was like
Yeah, a
A
vital
huge,
part.
a vital part of that, but he was a good pick for that round.
Definitely, it's
Defenders,
more about the
protect your
intel
bombs from
gathering
being
than it
defused
is.
by
I think
attackers.
what definitely screwed over Maestro Gaming there was the early picks. I mean, it was a 5 versus 3, and then it all went downhill. They got 2 kills quick. They managed to get a trade off to a 4 versus 1, but after that, it was just a very solid win for Vivid. Now we do see him go to the exact same site that Maestria went to, which is that top floor site, the most played site on this map. And we see an office extension here. We do see the bandit there, banting that triple wall of back office.
10
And
seconds to
I'm not
insertion.
sure if there's... No, we do have a Valkyrie as well. We talk about Mr. Easter here.
5 seconds left.
16 and 6 currently.
Yeah, he's
Attackers
had
must
like a
locate and
really
defuse the
good
bomb.
showing so far. Also, I know Joey doesn't have like the most impressive stat line neither. He's 9 and 11, but for the last few, I think almost every single round where Vivid United have
Bad
gotten the
start,
opening
didn't he?
kill,
But
yeah, like it for the last for the every single almost every single round that Vivid United have gotten an opening kill, he's gotten an opening kill. He doesn't get it this round. He does die, but you know
just as he
he
gives praise, he dies. How
yeah.
unfortunate. And that's already a player down for the side of Vivid here. So Maestria are definitely in a good position here. They do manage to get the a drone onto Mr. Easter. That could have been a very, very tensious situation there if he was unspotted. He could have got at least a double or a single kill. But we will see if he goes for a nitro. No, he won't get any kills. And he still gets the kill on Aries there. Going down onto Easters. E-Toils gets the reflag, but Adapts gets the kill onto E-Toils. It's all popping off in these first 1 minute. 4 players are down in total.
4 players are down in total. Well, oh yeah, 4 players are down in
Yeah,
total.
2 for
Correct.
each.
Maths I can't count. 3-3, but 6 players remain. 3 for either one of these teams as we approach the mid-round minute and 45. So it felt like so much time that like those engagements felt like a lot of time has passed. And it hasn't. We're still in the meat of this round. We're still in the middle point of this round, and it's up to all 6 of these players and the direction they'll go in. And it depends, how these attackers attack this site, especially with the amount with how like with where they're positioned. They're going for this office take as what you would expect to do. I
Attackers have
haven't
located a
seen many
bomb.
the armory takes apart from Vivid United in the last round. It's just been mainly office takes from
Bomb
Maestria
located by
that
attackers.
haven't worked out. I don't think they've won this round a single time. I might have to check my notes again, but I don't think so. They might get to win it this round. Master does find a kill onto a dash, but gets immediately down. Doesn't have withstand. It's a double kill for Vivid United
One.
off of some big flanks. Now a 1v1 LZP versus Matt. The positioning or the rotation is gonna come in. LZP just moves at the last second. I'm not too sure why he moves. He's going for a plant. He's moving. He's playing ring around the rosy, and he loses. And it is Vivid United to take the full 3 points.
What a 1v1 to end off this series. I couldn't have wished for a better way to end off there. Beautiful for Vivid. Just dancing and weaving around that office. If I was being honest, I thought the Thermite could have won that round there, take it to 7-7, and we would have had a very good last round. But LZP is just outclassed in the 1 versus 1 situation, especially when he has. Did he have a 2.5 sight on, or was it a 1.5?
Huh?
I was just talking about the
I
sight
think.
there, Chanko.
Oh,
I think
it
it
was
was
a
a
2.5.
2.5. So it's not as good for very close range there, as I think that he would have blamed it on the sight maybe. But a 2-0 for Vivid United. You have to blame it on something. You can't blame it on yourself sometimes, especially when it's in a very tense situation here. But a 2-0 for Vivid United, and well played to both of these teams. That last map was definitely something to vibe about.
Yeah, that last round is a kicker because for me, LZP, if he would have just held on to that angle a little bit longer, it wasn't really Matt's outclassing him. It was just LZP
Yeah.
second guessing himself. He second guessed his position like not just once. He did that like 300 times in that round. That's not the accurate number, but he did it so many times. He kept moving, he kept weaving, he kept playing ring around the rosy with the bandit. He was trying to get the plant down. And that situation in a 1v1, especially when you're getting pressured and you know the rotation is coming from metal, hold the angle. You don't ever go for a plant in that situation. So
Yeah,
decision making's not there,
just
but
something to
it was
work
a
on
good
maybe.
map nonetheless.
I agree. And what does that mean for the standings? That makes Vivid United, after 3 games played, go up into second place. So a very, very good start there for Vivid United. They have 2 wins and 1 loss. Unfortunately, Maestria will go down to 9th position, having lost 1 and forfeited 1. So there is a lot of things that Maestria can take away from their first play day here, because obviously this is their first time, as the last time was a different org playing. It was a very close game. That last game was especially closer. They just need to figure out what maps they want to play on. But congrats to Vivid United on coming to second place there.
Yeah, most definitely a good win for Vivi United. They had a tough loss at the beginning of the season against QVG, but again, some teams, QVG are one of the stronger opponents in Major League this season. They're expected to be in that top five. We have an interview. We do have an interview, and it is going to be with Joey. You saw him play in the matchup. He was insane on Skyscraper. He was decent on Border. How are you,
Ouch.
Joey?
I'm good.
Oh.
I'm a little bit hurt at the moment. Calling me average and all, but I'm good.
We said you're good on Sky on the
No,
first
I
game,
said
mate.
you were
Yeah, I was
good.
good on
I said you
Sky.
were.
It didn't really go my way on Border. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
I said you were good on Border.
I did decent on Border. That's what you said. But yeah.
This is
Yeah.
better than bad.
That's true. That's true. At least I didn't have a bad game. It started as a bad game, but I got back a little
Yeah,
bit. The cap
I,
can
I
really help.
I think definitely the start wasn't the best, but you managed,
Oh.
especially we were saying on cast, the last sort of rounds, you definitely made it better for your team. You definitely had a big impact on those last, I think, 5, 6 rounds there.
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't. It was kind of a shit show on our part because we haven't practiced anything on borders. We don't have any strats for it, so we kind of got a little bit scared when they picked border, but because like they pick border, their map, they're gonna be good at it, and we don't have anything for it. But luckily, Easter popped up and did really well for us, and we had some dirty kills here and there.
That's
So
why
it
I want
really
to ask
helped.
actually about the map bans, because I mean you went on to 2 new maps there, Border and Skyscraper. Is Skyscraper a map you've been practicing a lot as why you've been chosen it?
Uh, Not since I don't think we've actually practiced since we started playing Tantally because a lot of people are like a little bit scared of the new maps that came into the scene. So we kind of pulled them a little bit back to the side and start working on the more fundamental on the basic maps like Oregon and Club. We don't want a repeat of week 1, of course. So we've been working a lot on that, and I think we would have banned Border, but one guy on our team had a little bit of a fat finger on work, so he banned Cafe without even thinking. So yeah, we probably would have banned Border because we haven't worked that much on it yet, but
Still
yeah,
worked out for you in the end.
yeah, it worked really well to be honest. I'm happy with I'm happy with 2 maps.
So, question that I wanted to ask was mainly about your org. How are you guys fitting into the Vivid United org, knowing that you guys switched from T4 Gatekeepers to now being signed by Vivid United?
It was actually a pretty pleasant experience. They've been really helpful, and they got us a really good coach for now. I don't know how long he'll stay with us, but he's helping us a lot. At least with the last match against Vega, he helped us a lot with analyzing them. We didn't have much on these guys, so there wasn't much for him to do. But other than that, he's been really good to us, and the org's been really well.
Yeah. On your first overtime round, you guys picked the Monty pick. Or the Ponto. Pick the Monty pick. That's the double jeopardy. Sorry. You guys went with the Monty pick for that round, and I wanted to ask, how like what did you mainly? I know because Monty's used more as an intel gatherer, but did you guys also try and use him more as a figurehead as well?
Nah, Dallas just wanted to do. He just wanted to play Monty,
Oh.
so he just picked it, and we just went with it. We played behind it. We played around it. We played with line as well. And yeah, it worked out great. We don't really use Monty that much, so I was pleasantly surprised with how it went. And Yeah, and we might use it in the future as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, skyscraper. Will we be seeing more skyscraper from you guys in the future, or any? Because we got a new 9 map pool, and I've been dying to cast like theme park for
I've
a
been
while.
Theme
dying to
park.
play theme park.
Oh come, yeah.
Maybe
Let's
next
Yeah,
week.
I,
Maybe next week.
maybe next week. But like,
Yeah.
yeah,
maybe.
we
Is
were
that a
really,
promise?
we were really. It depends on the other guys. Like, we were really happy with Skyscraper. We loved the map,
Yeah.
and so we were really happy when they actually allowed us to pick it. Our attacks aren't that strong, but we feel that our defense are really strong. So yeah, we really want to play it, and the same for theme park. We want to challenge ourselves and play new maps. So Border was a challenge today, and the challenge worked out. So yeah, Border. Hopefully, we can play theme park in the future.
That's good to hear. I like hearing about teams looking to work on their flexibilities when it comes to maps, because there's plenty of teams out there, whether that be T4 or even a pro league, that don't have a good map pool, or their map pool is just too short. So it's good to
Yeah.
see that you guys are working with the new map pool and that you're open to playing new maps, because not a lot of people in T4 or even T2 are open to that. So it's nice to see.
Mm.
Obviously, the staff and community votes were against you today. Is there anything you want to
Oh.
say to the community and the staff here about that decision there?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Trippin and Bubi, why are you against us, guys? Come on, you gotta vote for us. You had no information on these new guys, and you don't vote for us after we had a great week last time. So, like, what's up with that? Like, why are you not voting for us? Yeah,
Well,
look,
you know,
I know why Trippin's not voting for it. I think it's Matt's. I think Matt and him got a little bit of beef. I think that's why. I was sad
uh,
to see that people weren't rooting for us, but hopefully next week they'll be voting
I
for
just,
Vivid.
You definitely proved them
I
wrong.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, I just went with the underdogs. I didn't.
Sure. Yeah, I would say the same thing. Always fun with an underdog story, right?
Yeah, you know,
We're kind of the underdogs as
but
well. First time we've been in the 10th league, we're underdogs as well.
I don't think I have any more questions. Wumby, anything else to ask?
oh, I mean, all I have to say to you, Joey, congratulations on your 2 wins in 2 games so far, and hopefully you guys can keep up the form for the season. You guys look amazing, and I'm looking forward to more vivid matches.
Yeah, thanks. I'm looking forward to playing.
Okay.
Well,
Cheers, mate. Okay, that.
see you guys later.
See you guys later. So, as we said, Vivid United move up into second place after that crucial win there. Maestria, it was a good start, but there's still a lot more work to work on. Watch this video, see where you went wrong, and obviously improve. It was only your first game in Talent League, so it's more about getting the nerves out of the way at this point. But what a game, and what a cast to go over.
Yeah, most definitely. I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed this a bit more because we had Skyscraper, and like while I'm not too versed on Skyscraper, I mean I understand the basics concepts of how the map works,
Yeah,
because of before the rework we played it I played it a bunch. After the rework is there's a lot of new changes. And I'm still trying to learn it a lot. So it's nice to get those maps in, the new maps in, and to be able to cast them and then be able to give our own insights from it, even if we don't have that much experience. So it was a good
definitely,
day,
definitely.
both for the minor and the major leagues, for Invictum and now for Vivid United, who both have the 3 points that they both want. And that'll be all for us today. It
Yeah.
Oh, right, I have to mention tomorrow's game. Oopsies, let me look at the casting chat, and then you guys
Well,
don't
I've
know
got the
about the
games
casting chat.
actually. So tomorrow we've got Aura versus Nerf Minor in the minor leagues. That'll be at 18:45 CEST for the BO1, and then after that we have Humble Academy versus Ultra Esports in the major, and that will be casted by me, Pyro, and Austin. So make sure to check those out tomorrow. I've been Pyro, and this has been my fellow caster Wumby. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.